All right, so if at any point in time you notice my um you're no longer seeing my screen, so you let me know. So um because this is day one, right? So today is day one of our cybersecurity training. So I know I've talked about how interactive, how practical intensive it's going to be, right? So I'm not going to talk about that again. So all I would say is I want everyone to put in their best, right? So I want everyone to put in their best. So it's gonna be an intense. So for day one, right? So we talked about okay, I already shared the highlights for day one. So it will be more of fundamentals, right? So we're going to be laying the foundation. I know some persons here already have some knowledge of computer networking, right? So it's going to be interactive. And then I'll call someone to share screen, right? So you're going to walk us through on certain maybe what you're setting up. So so I know of someone that already messaged me that he's not using his laptop, right? So when I call you to share your screen and get feedback like, oh, I'm not using my laptop, so it doesn't go well. So that's why I always want to know beforehand. So if you're not using your laptop for the session, because it's majorly for laptop, so it's not for phone. So, but in the case whereby, oh, you're not with your laptop, we can, yeah, we can understand, you understand. So it means that definitely you would um follow us and though the recording will be shared to the group, right? So our Telegram platform. So I would always communicate via Telegram. So always communicate via Telegram. So you're welcome. And so I need to admit someone, right? So okay. So you're all welcome to our day one. So today I'll do 65% of the talk, the demonstration. So I'm kind of laying the foundation. So I have someone here with me that will be joining me to pioneer this training, right? So, well, generally I'll do 80% of the training, right? So majorly on the aspect of web app and some reverse engineering. So it will play much more bigger role in that area. So I know we all came from different backgrounds, right? So some already in the IT field, right? So some in yeah, some they are transitioning into cybersecurity, right? So irrespective of the level or the height you've attained, right? So we are doing this together. So the tasks, the assignments, we're all doing together. So there's no competition, right? We are learning together, even me too. We are all growing together, you know. So when you're meant to submit particular tasks or assignments, right, so at certain time, a given time. So sure you always do that. So right, so it's going to help in the long run. So it's very important, right? So I know I've accessed everyone's laptop. Not like I've accessed, right? So but I've confirmed that okay, all the laptops of participants in this training, they meet up to the requirements. I mean, the minimum requirements of this training, which is a Core i5 and Core i5 and right. So I'm just confirm the network I'm connected to. So a Core i5 minimum of 8 gig RAM, right? So and we need about 110 to 100 gig space on your hard drive, right? So that's fine. So we just go on straight away. So today it's computer networking. So we're going to be doing also learning some network devices, right? So one major aspect of today's training, right, which will be the icing on the cake, will be on IP addressing, right? So we're going to be setting up a local area network. So I want everyone to stay glued and practice alongside with me when it is time. So like I said, I'll be doing 65% of the talk today. Right. So if I'm too fast or maybe I'm using some techie words or terms, and you're not too cool with that. So please draw my attention. And then if you have any question, right, you can either raise up your hand. If I don't see your hand on time, maybe my other colleague didn't see your hand on time, right? So you can always just unmute and just let me know, oh, I have a question, or I'm not clear about this, right? So let me see who is on this call. So and I believe okay, Mr. Cody is joining us. So I believe okay, Mr. Aditola, you're using your phone, right? So I wanted to start with you to share your screen. So please try and also if you're not good if you have access to your laptop, please try and do that. All right. So
Okay.
anyways, when the time comes, I would call someone to share screen. So just follow us. Just follow us. All right. So I believe we all have the Cisco packet tracer installed. Right. So and also from day one, right? So we are starting off with the um digitally positioning yourselves for opportunity. So we don't want to get to 50% of the training, right? So before we start positioning ourselves for opportunities. So from day one, I want to see from day one, day two, which is tomorrow, and throughout next week. So one of all the talks, we want the engagements, the interactions will be on what we've learned, what we are doing, and so the journey it's that started already. So there's no lagging or there's no going back. Thank you all for being with us, right? So I am Stephen Joseph. So for those that I know everyone here knows my name. So I'll get to know everyone, right? So one after the other. And so let's just be respectful and all that's fine. So when we talk about cybersecurity, I've been in this space for some time, right? So Stephen climbing and it's as if I've never started. So the more I I move, I climb. It's as if I'm just coming, right? So, but it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful ride, a wonderful ride so far, right? So when we hear cybersecurity, right? So some people get scared, right? This thing is difficult. No, no, it's not. Some people feel that, oh, how do I even start? I'm not a techie person. No, you don't have to be a tech to transition or to be a cybersecurity professional. So just have that passion, right? Committed to whatever find yourself doing, and in no distance time you would get there. So the word security, okay, this is just my background actually. So I wanted to call up a picture, but I think this is my background. I already have this. You see cyber here, this is my desktop environment, right? You see cyber. This is security. If I remove security from here, this is cyber, right? So we can relate cyber to cyber crime, cyber theft, you know, cyber anything, This cyber here tells us that it has to do with digital, right? So digital manipulations, malicious activity, using tools, all of those elusive tools. But because we are bringing security here, this is protection, right? So protection, right? So want to defend the maybe our network infrastructures, our organization, our data. Want to secure our data in transit or at rest. So that security is what stands out. That's why you see security here bolded, right? So we are all security professionals. So even though we are going to be learning bad, I'll not use the word bad. So we always want to learn some of those malicious acts and activities, right? So, but what makes us stand out? What gives us that confidence, that assurance out there is because of security. So that's why we call ourselves ethical hackers, right? So, or security professionals, right? So, and then another thing again we'll do, right? So, we would ensure that everyone, right? Cybersecurity is broad. So, ensure that you all or pick a certain niche or area in cybersecurity, right? So you will be well grounded, right? So, but it doesn't mean that, take note, if an opportunity come, right? So in reverse engineering or malware analysis, Doesn't mean that, oh, you will not do it. No, no. So, but it's good you master one major, one core area. All right. So, before I go, yeah, that's a little talk on cybersecurity. So, but before we go further, right? So, I would want someone to just tell me what he or she understands with understand by the term computer networking. Today it's networking, so that's the fundamental, that's the foundation, and we'll be using a bank as our use case. So most of our use case test cases will be related to a bank. So we don't want a situation. It's majorly focused on a bank, right? So because we know the bank they have digital assets, right? So which they have they've deployed all security measures, right? So to defend their infrastructure. So and they have confidential files and all of that. So we're using the bank most of the times in our case study, right? So now in the bank, they have a network in place. They already have an existing network. So I don't know if anyone, maybe two persons, I don't want to call names, right? So two persons, you just tell me what he or she understands by computer networking, right? So make it simple for us. Anyhow you, anyhow you say it, right? Anyhow, I will make sense out of it. So we'll connect them together, right? So then before we go in straight up into connecting computers and so your what you would explain for me, I would or the definition you give me, then we will not do a demonstration. So that would make us or make it much easier for everyone to understand. So anyone, so if you have anything, I think I have a chat already. So and then there will be a poll. Might not be today, right? So always there will be a poll and there will be breakout sessions, right? So in between. So let's talk. So it's interactive, right? So like I said, I'll be doing 65% of the talk or the demonstration today. Then tomorrow we'll do 50-50. Then furthermore, um most of the times I'll just be watching and then maybe Mrs. I hope she's in this call. All right, so Mrs. Bettila. All right, so anybody who you understand by
All right, sir.
computer networking. All right, so just tell me your name because I'm not looking at your
All
at my
right, sir. Good evening,
smart.
sir, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
My name is Taiwo.
you're right. Mr. Taiwo, you're welcome.
So, yes. So, now a little understanding about computer networking that talks about the connection of multiple devices to the end of sharing data or resources, sir.
Okay, okay, that's beautiful. Right, so I love that. So just one more person or if two. So let's start with that. So one more person, what you understand by computer networking. Just unmute, tell us. Unmute.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, it's you.
Uh,
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Betla. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Sorry.
very well, loud and clear.
Okay. For me, what I uh, understand about computer network is how devices are connected to each other within the computer space. It could be your house or the office or the school. Just how devices are connected to each other and how data passes through the yeah, something of that sort. I don't want to be using terms that I cannot define.
All right, so it's just better you stop there before you spoil the whole
Yeah.
thing. Right, so you made your point, right? So let me start with the first okay, let me combine in fact both of you all gave brilliant responses. So I love that. So why I said it's they are all brilliant answers is because right, so you made mention of connection of devices, right? So I already have a picture here, right? So I already have a picture here. Right, so I'm just going to walk you through this, right? So, um, I hope. Okay, I think it's pinned up to some other pictures. All right, so let me call that up. All right, okay, let me use this diagram. So maybe it's from Telegram. So let me use this one here. This one, this one, this one, and this one here. Right. So I'm going to do this. So nothing much. Right. So I'm going to do this one here. Just connect this to, then I'm going to call up another server. Okay, that's the firewall. Right. So let me bring the server and bring a wireless router. And so let me not even connect them now. Let me no need to connect this. No need to connect these devices. Right. So um take this guy up. Right. So do I bring it up? No. Okay. So let me bring this one. This one will automatically connect. Right. So as a wireless connection. So then okay, yeah, I think let me just go with this, right? So looking at this, right? So looking at this these devices, they are not connected apart from this guy, are connected automatically, right? So let's just say this ones, they are not connected, right? So I think Mr. Toby said connection of devices, right?
Be careful with that fire. But
So
wait, let's check it.
you have to mute mic, please, Mr. Samson. All right. So there was one important thing you made mention of connection of devices, right? So for these devices, they will have to communicate, share resources, right? So that's the essence of computer networking. So devices has to be connected, right? So either via cable, right? So either via cable, right? So they can be connected via cable. So if these devices are not connected, right? So either via cable or wireless, there's no way they will communicate. So the first thing there is connection, right? So connecting or interconnection of devices, right? So there's no way this guy now is not part of the network, right? So there's no way he will communicate. Right. So I'll come to that. I think I don't know if it's a chat or a question. So this there's no way these two now, right? They are connected. Right. So we are heading somewhere. So connection of two or more devices. So like we have our mobile phones, or our laptop connected to our mobile phones, or your mobile phone when you turn on your data, right? When you turn on your data, your mobile phone connect or roams to any of your maybe your network service provider where their presence, maybe that telecommunication device or um, um radios or signals around you, right? So there must be a connection, right? So the essence of these devices connecting, they are not just connected because they just want to connect, right? So they are connected so they would communicate, so they will share resources, so they will transfer files, right? So we need these devices to be connected. So I'm going to connect all of them now, right? So I'm going to connect all of these devices. Right, so now using this cable, so we're going to talk about all of these cables and why this connection, what kind of connection is this, right? So I'm just trying to establish that network, right? So let me use this one. So this is a firewall, right? So however it is, okay, normally I would want this firewall to be here, right? So I want this firewall to be here. Best practice, it should not be directly to the switch, right? So this is how it's meant to be. In fact, I can call up a cloud. Right, so just bring, okay, let me not use DSL, let me use this one. Right, so I'll bring this one here from the cloud. It can either come here, so it depends. I will bring this firewall here, this one comes here. So, but let's just do the firewall here. So I'm going to talk through all of this. Right. So where's okay, so I'm going to connect this one now. So this one, right? So then this one to this one, right? So just connect it this way. So don't mind, they are showing, these ones are showing red, right? So we're just trying to establish or uh I'm just trying to establish a point here. So whether the one showing green or the one showing red, so never mind. So as it is now, all these devices, they're all connected, right? So they need to be connected to share resources, communicate, so irrespective of their geographical distance. So this is mainly a local area network. Right, so we're also going to be setting up a local network, most likely, if time permits, to set up a wide area network today or tomorrow we'll do that, right? So they are connected, right? So, but take note, even though these devices are connected, right, via cable. Okay, this one now. Let me bring in this one now. So let me bring in this one. Since I've done the connection, so I'll use this one, right? I'll connect this one together. So I'll connect this one to this one, right? So even though this one, this is the wireless router, right? It's okay. These two that you see here, these two that you see here, they can communicate, right? So why these ones they can't communicate yet? Why this one here, they can't communicate here, right? So even though these devices are connected, right? So it doesn't mean they can communicate. So there are certain protocols, right? So there are certain protocols that would enable these devices to communicate, right? So now when you're connected to the internet, right? So when you're connected to the internet, let me just say you're connected to a network, right? So when you're connected to a network, so what comes to your mind, right? So you're in that network, you're connected via cable, uh, or wirelessly to the network. So what's it's always at the back of my, I mean, in an office, in the office, like if you work in an office, right? So either you want to print or you want to browse, you want to send a mail, what's like part of your task or your job, your activities, right? You want to communicate. So there's communication going on. Even though you are printing, so there's no printer here, I can add a printer. Even though you want to print, provided you are printing over a network, there's a communication going on, right? So you see what makes those communication possible are protocols, right? So what makes those communication possible are protocols, right? So the protocols are the reason why these devices or these yes, computers can communicate, right? So if I'm to download a file, right, so from the internet, or I'm to send a mail, right, to you, there's a protocol responsible for that. So these protocols governs the communications in that network. So that's something else we'll still talk about, right? So now, remember I said these guys cannot communicate. These guys cannot communicate because they they don't have a protocol or a rule that governs their communication. So I'm just going to show you this right away, right? So what protocol would allow them to communicate is IP address, right? So that's the first major protocol, right? So that's the first major protocol. So everyone on this call, you all have IP addresses. I mean, you all have, if you don't have IP address, there's no way, if you, I mean, let me not say you, if your laptop or your device doesn't have IP address, there's no way you'll be able to be part of this session. There's no way you would even connect or be on this session. So I don't know why I right. So this is my own wireless. This is my own adapter for wireless. Right. So this is my own IP address. So without this IP, right, so there's no way I would communicate. So take note, even though even though I have my laptop, there's an IP address, right? So my laptop has IP address. It doesn't mean that I would if there's no data on this device that my laptop is connected to, okay, this is a different one, right? Not the usual one. So this cybersec router my laptop is connected to, there's no way, if there's no data, internet, like access on that, there's no way I'll be able to have access to the internet. There's no way I'll be able to browse, right? So, but my laptop still would be connected, right? So it means that everyone connected to this router, that my laptop is connected to. Everybody connected to that router that my laptop is connected to, we can still communicate, right? So, but we will not be able to browse, right? So we're not able to have access to the internet. So we cannot go outside our local network, right? So this is the internet, right? So this is the internet somewhere, maybe MTN, we might be here, but this guy is also connected somewhere, right? So this is what brings internet. So if this one is down, we can still communicate, right? So it means that we can still have access to this server. So the essence of this server is to serve these guys, to provide the resources that these guys, these other computers need. So these computers here, these devices will be depending on this server for one or two resources, right? So we're going to come to devices like we're going to come to devices separately. So we're going to understand all the different devices. Uh, so that's just computer networking. So I just try to make a point here. So if there's any question regarding computer networking or what is clear. So I made mention of IP address. I've not talked much about it. So if there's a question regarding that for now, no. So we're going to talk about it. So any question or maybe you need to add something to this based on what you understand, right? So maybe you need to tell, you want to say, okay, I can define it this way, right? Based on what you explained. So it means that. So I just want to hear. So is there anyone with question or opinion, or you need maybe subtraction, or maybe I made a mistake in my what I was saying or demonstrating, right? So kindly comment, please. So before we go to the next phase, so I have like two more points. I mean, highlights then before we'll start. I'll ask everyone to start installing, and then before we leave, right? So you're going to share me your LinkedIn account. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, please make sure you create. I think that information has been shared already. So make sure you create one, right? So you're going to share your LinkedIn accounts. So me, right? And or you share it to the group, right? So while you share your Twitter account to me. So let's talk. Let's talk. So any question? All right. So any contribution or subtraction? All right, so Mr. Toby, does this simplifies your explanation, abi your definition on computer networking?
Yes, sir.
All right, so anyone? All right, so Mr. Frederick, are you with us? I just want to confirm that you're with us.
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, that mic can spoil something. So that's fine. So I'll just move on now. Right. So in let me say this. So computer networking is the connection of two or more devices, right? So you can see two or more devices together, right? So connected, two or more devices together, right? So for these devices to communicate, share, so there needs to be a connection, right? So connection of two or more devices together using transmission mediums such as the cable, wireless, it can be radio frequency, any means, right? So irrespective of their geographical distance, let me just leave it that way, right? So for the essence of this connection is for these devices to share resources, communicate. So let's leave it that way. So I'm going to move to the next phase, right? So I'm going to just call up a Word document. So I'm going to call up a Word document here. So I can be typing. So there will be a summary for today's session, and the recording will be shared to the group. So what's any any okay, I think nobody responded, so I'll move on now. So the next thing I want us to talk about here now. So remember, I said these devices cannot communicate without protocols, right? So now what I want us to do, um so now what those components, right? So the components, let's say components of computer networking, right? So let me just put the components of let me just say components of computer networking, right? So let me computer networking. right? So now you see these devices you're seeing here, right? So this is a network already established, right? I can set up another network. There's this thing blocking my, okay, I've moved it. It's still blocking my screen. Okay, let me close this. Okay. I think I'll just move this like this. Something was blocking my screen. So I just needed to do this. I'll find a way. Right. Um, I want to call up another this would help me in the explanation. I want to my next point. So if you've not downloaded this, please, as I'm having this, if you've not downloaded this, please kindly download it, right? So before we go too far. So we'll be needing this. Right. So and there are some tools. There is one other one which I didn't send, right? So we're not might likely not going to use it today and tomorrow, but I'll drop it. Very, very important. So another tool. Right. So this is another network. Right. So this is another network entirely. Right. So two different networks. So there are two different local networks, right? So let me just put this one aside. So um we have networks. So let's say we have two different networks now. So this is a local network. This is another local area network, right? So now for the components of computer networking, right? So I'm going to state this, right? So I'm going to start with which one should I? So let's do network devices, and we're going to use network protocols, and let's say network so let's use network resources. So I'm going to come back to that diagram, right? So I'm going to come back to the diagram now. So network devices, or yeah, let's leave it as network devices, then network protocols and network devices. So there's no too much talk. So everything here will be talked on this diagram. So that's why we have an AI that will be summarizing this our session, right? So that I will share to the group. So I might not really be typing and typing. So if there's anything to read, you can still do your further research, or once in a while I'll share like a guide or a PDF. But most of the time is the hands-on and the guide, principles on what to design or what to set up. So that's what we'll be using most of the time. So network devices or network media. So let me add media. Let me say network devices slash medium. Let me know is let's use media, right? So I'll classify all of these as network devices, right? So we're talking about components that makes up network, right? So I'll classify all of these devices, right? So because they are into communicate, so classify them as network devices. So pretty straightforward, right? So now that we have the network devices, so now the network protocols. So these guys are in this network, right? So all of these computers are in this network. So what are the yeah, let me not say that. So they're in this network. So to communicate, right? To share resources, right? So if yeah, we assume there is internet right here. So let me access this one. Let me access this router. Right, so let me just access this router. What did I type? Admin. Right, so I don't want to make this too big. So so there's we assume there's internet access here, right? So now these devices would want to browse. They will come here, you type, or you want a ping to Google DNS, you browse. This one is browsing Facebook, right? So this one is sending mails, right? So there's a mails, these are mail server or FTP server. So these guys, we have a local mail server that user sends mails. This one is Mr. laptop 0 is sending a mail to laptop 1. Laptop 2 is downloading files from maybe our OneDrive. This one is watching YouTube. This one is sending job to printer. All of this communication, right? So it all involves protocols, right? So that's where we are heading to now. So network protocols, right? So network protocols here there are rules, right? So there are rules. Um, Let me just use caps auto. There are rules or principles. So I'm going to come back to that diagram. So there are rules or principles, or let me add policies. Does it make sense? Yeah, policies that governs communication, that governs communication in network, right? So in a network. So let me leave it this way. So what are those policies? What are those protocols? What are those policies? So now let me bring this down here. So the protocols, or the rules, let me use the word, the rules or the principles that governs this guy's communication, right? So, if they don't understand the rules or the protocols that governs that communication, there's no way they'll be able to communicate, right? So if this guy doesn't have a certain protocol, right, so that would allow him to download files from the internet, so there's no way he would communicate. If there's no protocol or resource or service running here that would allow this guy wants to fetch a file from the server, there's no way he will communicate. So now, what are those protocols? So one of the protocol here is HTTP, right? So very, very, very common protocol. So even though you're not in tech or you are not in the IT field, right? So we somehow would have heard about HTTP, right? So we are not dealing depth into protocol, right? So we'll talk about protocol in a different facts, in a different session entirely, right? So to talk about OSI model, we'll break it down properly. So now, one of the protocol here is HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or I can say www or www. So if you've not heard of HTTP, you must have seen or typed www.facebook.com, right? So when you do www.facebook.com, right? So it opens up Facebook web page, right? So it opens up Facebook web page. So that's protocol takes you, yeah, to the internet, to the public network, takes you to Facebook data center or database where you have your records or your accounts, then pull out, give you your own, maybe give you the information on your Facebook webpage or environment, so it needs internet, right? So you are going out. So that protocol, yeah, falls under the layer 7 of the OSI model, right? So that protocol, it's user access protocol, or it's logically closest to the user, right? So when you're talking about OSI model, so it is the gateway, right? So to public sites. So it's always a gateway. And you see these protocols, they all have port number. So they all have port number. So we're going to be talking about the port number. So this one here, it's for World Wide Web, right? So, and HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So then we also have another protocol called so let's say DHCP, right? So DHCP. So all of these protocols are the things, these are protocols. Protocols are logical. So we can't touch them, right? So we can literally not see them, right? So they can be configured and they can be a service, right? So if you check your laptop, there's a protocol. As we are communicating via Teams or Zoom, there's a protocol in charge of this communication, right? So just take note of that. So as cybersecurity professionals, one of the things um we always ensure that here we know, like, very well, it's protocols, understanding protocols and their port numbers, not just the protocols, the port numbers. right? So we're going to understand that better. So now this I talked about DHCP, right? So which is dynamic host configuration protocol, right? So dynamic host configuration protocol. So um this is one typical example here, right? So this protocol assigns whether it is configured or set up on either a router or on this server. If we have DHCP set up here, right? So if we have our DHCP set up here, so it means that anybody connected to this switch, right? So on this, they are part of this network. Means that this server will assign IP addresses automatically to these devices, right? So right now, the only device that issues IP addresses automatically is this one, right? So is this one, is only this wireless router. We're also going to talk about different devices, right? So we're going to learn network devices. So this one can as well assign IP address automatically, but it has not been configured. But this one by default assigns IP addresses automatically. So now this one here has gotten IP address, right? So DHCP, it has gotten IP address automatically from this guy, right? So this one here, they've not gotten their own IP address because we didn't check that they should receive IP address automatically, right? So now they've gotten their own IP address automatically. So this one here, so it means that this one and this one can communicate, right? So because there's a protocol that would govern their communication. So now let's say this guy and this guy, they can communicate successful. So now this other one here doesn't have IP address, right? So this other one doesn't have IP address. So if I say DHCP, it means this guy, this wireless router will issue IP address. So that's this computer. So but now I didn't give that IP yet. I didn't enable DHCP. So, but now, once I try to communicate, they will not be able to communicate, right? So they will not be able to communicate because there is no IP address or logical address configured on this device, right? So there's no logical address configured on this device. So that's for that. So now, what is IP address? So IP address is also a part of a protocol. So the next protocol heading talking about now is IP address. So IP address is the major protocol, right? So it's the major of them all. So if there's no IP address, we have IPv4, IPv6, right? So I want to talk about that, right? So IP address is the major protocol. So without IP address, how will this guy even print? How will this guy even download? How will he send reports to his maybe his HR via mail? So that means the first protocol all of these devices, computers, they will need is IP address, which is internet protocol, which is internet protocol. So internet protocol. So it's logical in nature, right? So it's made up of 4 bytes, 32 bits number system. So it's a typical example of IP address. So we're going to come into that shortly. So it's made up of 4 bytes separated by dots. You can see 10 dots, 90 dots, 76 separated by dots, 8 bits in each octet or in each byte. So we're going to understand all of this, right? So just the intro today, right? So then tomorrow we'll talk about that. So IP address identifies devices in a network. So now, before I even go to the next protocol, so I'm only going to talk about just 3 protocols more or 4, right? So then, so before I go to the next protocol, so now see something about just see something about IP here, right? So um let me do this. So I have let me say IP config. So IP configuration, so it checks my IP address. So it gives me this IP 192.168.0.102, right? So, okay, let me come back there. I've closed it already. So, see, there is a gateway, right? So, there's a gateway 192.168.0.1. So, that gateway is this device, right? So, actually, if I redefine, by the time I restructure this network, our gateway might not be this device if I want to do it, right? So it depends on how I want to design or set up this network, right? So now, where that the gateway, it's this for now. So it means that um okay, if I go to that route now, it will be a little bit technical, right? So, but what I'm trying to say, right? So, if I want to browse or go to the internet, right? So, the traffic, the way it will come here and go here. So this is my gateway. It will come here, then go to this place, right? So this is my closest device. So that's for that. So for the next one, it's so let's look at file transfer protocol, right? So there's a tool that was shared to the group. I will admit, right? So we're going to be using that tomorrow for file transfer, right? So if we want to move a file or a message from one PC to another, or want to download a file, or we want to use FileZilla to copy a file or send a file to this server, pegging his IP address, right? I said IP address identifies device in the network. So this server IP address is 192.168.0 dot maybe 100 or 105, right? So we want to communicate with this server. We want to download the file that's been or the file that has been saved on this server. So there's a protocol that will do that for us, right? So in our virtual lab, right? So we'll be setting up tools that would ease communication in our network. So we don't have to be just call up that tool, type the IP address of the device you want to communicate with, and then type the message or attach a file, provided you have the IP address of that device, right? The message goes to that device. You understand? The message goes to the device, right? So you download the file, you send the mail, so different protocols responsible. So then another one, this is FTP, right? So use this port 21. So we also have SMTP, which is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, right? So for sending mails, for email connections or email communications. So we want to send mails. So I'm just going to speed up a little. I'm checking time, right? So and we have DNS that resolves user-defined name to maybe an IP address to user-defined name, you know, like that. So this is DNS port 53. We also have SSH, we have telnet, right? So this is to connect remotely to devices. So this guy wants to connect, so he wants to remotely access this device, right? So he wants to remotely access this device, right? So he just initiates the command telnet space the IP address. That's why IP address identifies device. You need to specify this computer's or this router's IP address. Right. So telnet space 192.168.0.100. Right. So what do you want to do? Right. So you want to remotely access this device. Right. So it will take you straight to this device, provided you know the username and the password or the credentials that was set or reset by either the security person or the person that manages the device. So, but what Telnet will do is a protocol that gives you remote access to remote devices, right? So it's a virtual teletype remote connectivity protocol, right? So that's what Telnet would do. Same thing goes with SSH, which is secured shell. Telephone network, secured shell. So we can go on and on and on with several protocols. So just take note that protocols are rules or principles, right? So policies, right? So if you ask me, I wouldn't want to add policies, right? So okay, let me remove policies. Let me take policies out. So let me use languages, right? So because policies is sounding, I don't know, it doesn't look like it, but somehow in some context it might, right? So I'll say rules, principles, or languages that governs communication in a network, right? So that's just it. So in any network. So just think about it. So think about in your office, at home, how do you print, how do you communicate, you chat, there are pretty protocols that does that. So we as cybersecurity professionals, right? So we don't we don't see those protocols with our physical eyes, right? So we use tools right? So we want commands that would review these protocols to us. I don't know if you get. So now the protocols, the function of those protocols, right? So the essence of those protocols now will not determine, this protocol is for SMTP. If SMTP is present on this server or is configured on this server, right? So it means that, this guy is meant for email connection or communication. So now what do I do with that SMTP? Do I want to investigate? Do I want to do I want to attack, or do I want to close that protocol? So because we saw that protocol, so we don't just sit there. We can't just look at this server and say, this is a mail server, or this is a file transfer server. So protocols helps us. Right, so protocols helps us. I say protocols. There are tools that would help us on that regard. All right, so just 1 second. All right, so that's for that. So now, lastly here, so this one is pretty straightforward. So I've talked about this, so network resources, right? So the network resources here are some of those things we made mention of, right? So the essence why we have this network is because of the resources, right? So it's because of the messages, it's because of the internet, the infrastructures, the communication. So these are the resources, right? So we want to download, we want to um we want to download a file, right, from this server. That this server is a resource, right? So we want to, okay, there's no printer here. Okay, if the printer is on this network, the printer is a resource in our network. We want to, anything we want to do on this network, right? So that has to do with pulling messages. So these are resources, right? So these are resources, but take note, protocols helps us to pick up or send those messages. So you want to share your hard drive on this network, it's a resource. It becomes a resource, right? So that's just the three classification or category of um, um, computer components that makes up so then the last aspect for this, then before we share our screen, or before we start installing, and I will ask a question shortly, right? So the last okay, before I go to the next, right? So looking at this diagram, right? Looking at this diagram, what do you think, or which device do you think is the backbone, right? So, which device is the backbone of this network, or is the core device in this network, right? So, which device is the most critical? Let me know the word, the most which device is the backbone and which one is the most important, right? So someone should tell us the most important and the backbone of this network. So please, this is a cybersecurity course. So most of our questions, even though we are doing fundamental, so first of all, just know that security is in your mindset. So we are building security. So let it be alarming, right? So let it be coming out. So someone should tell us, so the most um important device and the backbone of this network. So anybody, so let me check the chat. I don't know if there's a message. Right. So all right, so switch. So somebody said switch. Right. So somebody says switch. So which device is the backbone? So firewall, right?
I would say the router.
The router. Is it the backbone or the most important device?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. I think it's breaking. I can no longer hear you. It seems, or am I the only one? Right. So, if you can hear me, please just let me know. Just unmute, and anybody, if you can hear me, let me know. So because I could not hear.
I can hear you, sir.
All right. So I don't know who was talking. Right. So which device are you referring to? The device that's the backbone of this network, or the most important device in this organization? So someone should help us. So let me check the chat. So I think firewall the backbone, or is firewall the most important device? I just want to know. So I'm saying firewall, the most important device, and the firewall. I'm saying firewall. I saw switch. Right. So okay. Someone. Okay. Let me just call name. So the person that said firewall. Right. So backbone router, and then most important is the firewall. Right. So the firewall, it's router. Okay. All right. So Mr. Adetola, do you mean? I think let me start because I think the only one that made mention of server. So are you referring to server as the backbone or the most important device in that network? So tell me. Mr. Adetola, can you hear me?
He replied in chat.
Okay. I think he's having issues with the mic. Okay, say the server is the backbone. Server is the backbone. Okay, server is the backbone. Server is the backbone. Server is the backbone. All right, so Mr. Newton, so can you just quickly unmute and tell us why you said what you said?
Okay, so for me, I say the backbone is the router because without the firewall, I can connect my internet straight to the router and have or the switch or whatever and have my internet. But for in terms of security, firewall is very critical when we are thinking security. So that is why I said what I said.
All right. I copied that. I copied that. Right. So I think that was brilliant. So the point was just really, really straight. So I said security should be what flashes to our mind, right? So now I just want to paint a scenario, right? So just to negate or balance what you said, I'm trying to bring it to what Mr. Adetola said, server, right? So now, an attacker coming from, so I'll just use this cable, even though that's not what we would use. Okay, this one is already exhausted. So let me add one more port. Okay, I will ask a question. I think I will look at what, um, so let me add this one here. So let me do this one, this one, this one. Right. So, come in here. I want to, so okay, this is actually not what I want to do, right? So, but let me do it this way because of the explanation of what I want to establish. So now, so this is a separate network, another LAN, another local area network. So someone from a different region or a different organization in our other branch, right? So a user, let's say PC, uh, laptop 4, right? So he wants to have access to this router. Okay. Let me not do it that way. It will not. My explanation will not go well. So it will not make sense that way. So let me do this. So let me not use one organization. So I just want us to understand something here. So uh, what am I using? Okay, I was using a wrong cable. So initially I wanted to use that serial cable. So we'll just use this one. Right. So now over the internet. So this is a separate organization, not our branch. This is another separate organization. Right. So or someone from connected to a network, generally maybe public network that yeah, he has internet, or she has internet access. Right. So now he wants to connect. He has used maybe um show down, or he has used some of those tools that would scan through the network, right? So to bring out devices that are exposed on the public network. So all of these devices, all of the devices, they all have public IP addresses. So these three that we're looking at here, they all have public IP address. So particularly these ports, right? So this one would have private IP address. So we're coming to IP address. So now this guy comes here, right? So he wants to attack this network. So he's looking for um enemies, vulnerability, someone that will lose guard, right? So within this LAN, right? So he knows they have a firewall, right? So he knows they have a firewall here. So it's going to be very, very difficult because of this firewall, right? It's going to be very difficult to gain access to this firewall because, if this firewall is not here, maybe we just connected this straight to this router, which is possible, right? So like your ISP, MTN or any ISP comes to your organization, they just plug in their modem straight to your router, from your router to your switch, your wireless router, to your IP phones, to your switch, servers, computers, they're all connected. No, there's no firewall, right? So a firewall that would filter, a firewall that would where you set up rules or policies to deny or allow users to certain resources, or allow users not to even come into your network. I mean, external users from the public network not to come to your private network. Even users from your private network not to go outside your local. I mean, go to only the ones you give that access will be able to go outside. So no, that's what this firewall will be doing for us here. Right, so based on what Mr. Newton said. So now, this guy is trying to come to this network, right? Outside from a public network. When he gets here, he bounces back. He will try as an attacker. So what we are trying, so the way we are building our mindset, even though there's a firewall, so how do we come in? Even though we have firewall. So it means that you will either do phishing, every other, you send malware to someone. So even though they have, you send malware, so it means that there should be like endpoint security on these devices, right? So to protect, I mean, specific devices now, right? So even in your firewall, we can use signatures, or we can use um, we can deploy intrusion prevention, right? So that will deny any sort of malicious file or flag them, right? So on this our network. So now, when this guy is coming to this network, when it gets to where the firewall bounces it, right? So the firewall disconnects, the firewall yanks it off. So this guy will not be able to gain access, right? So because of this firewall, right, an attacker will not give up with a bad mindset. But one thing they make mistake of, right? They do make that mistake. So when they try to gain access, so they forget to they forget to remove tracks or traces. So they forget to so most times they would also want to, oh, mine is just to change IP address or use VPN, right? So we as security professionals, we want to know how, where, and when they will pass. We want to see where they will pass. So that's a thing for another day. So now I will not say for me, yeah, right? So using this scenario, the most important device will be the server, right? The most important device will be the server. So now let me add to what I said, right? So the most important device here will be the server. We don't want this server to. So now with this server, let it just be our server, our major server, right? So this is our server. This server can serve, we can install, we can set up resources, we can deploy. We want to protect this server at all costs. In some environments, right? So you know what they will do? They will take this server and connect it straight to the firewall. In fact, if the firewall has another port, maybe in some cases they'll put it in DMZ, right? So, but if you put it in DMZ, oh, I think I'm going too far now. So, but in some cases, they'll just put this one straight to the firewall, right? So straight to the firewall, or they even get another firewall from this router, from this switch, connects to the firewall, then from the firewall to the server, right? So this would be the most important device. You see, this an attacker that comes, if he can gain access to this server, right? If he can gain unauthorized access to this server, this company is gone. It's gone for good, right? So this company is gone for good. So if you can gain unauthorized access to this server, this company is gone, right? So now, so take note, the firewall plays a very important role. So with this server, right? So we don't know what this server would be, but just server is serving. So with this server, if there's no firewall connected in this net, this server might be prone to attack. So with this server, we can still deploy maybe um a WAF, right? So a web application firewall too on this server to protect this server, even though if we don't have money to buy firewall worth millions, right? So we can still deploy that to protect this computer, right? So now let me redefine what I asked. So this will be our most important. Then this would be the critical or the backbone, right? So yeah, this router and this connect. So based on what Mr. Newton said, you know, yeah, if we don't have internet, there's no internet, he can connect his modem here. That's fine. You do know that we don't really need internet to communicate, to access this server within. Yeah, there are some companies they need internet to go out, right? So, but let's assume there's an attack or maybe 0 day somewhere on the public network. You know, the first thing you want to disconnect is your internet from this your network, because if internet is still up, it means that people from the outside, maybe this firewall breaks down, or you discover an intruder into your network, you first thing, you want to just take off internet from the network, or you want to scan through the network to know which device was affected, isolate the device, you know. So this server, as you're doing that, you have to protect this server. You can First thing you might want to do is even disconnect the server, because it's a server. It is protecting, and it is not just protecting, it is providing all of the resources. You see, banks, they have applications. There are servers that provide these applications. So it might be on cloud, it might be on prem, right? So they can have any kind of server you get. So any kind of server can be one device, but you are running applications, right? So just take note of that. So we literally might not need internet access for that. So now, if this firewall is not here, okay, no need removing the firewall, right? So, any question? Any question? So we're just going to start setting up and configure. Yeah, we'll configure, set up a network. So we're going to be setting up something similar to this. Any questions? So before, who will share screen for us? So I want someone that's not installed, right? So any question? Mr. Toby, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
All right. So I think you start by sharing screen. So
Okay,
I
sir.
want to see your screen. So I'm going to stop sharing. So, and allow you to share screen. Have you installed the packages already?
No.
All right,
No.
so we're going to install that. So if you've installed, fine, there's no need on installing. So if you already have, no need. So let's allow him to install. So watch while he installs his own, then he will set up. Right, so we'll be talking about network devices while he's connecting. We're talking about network devices and then IP addressing in between, So we want to know how data flows within and across a network. So I hope this is still recording. So Mr. Toby, over to you. So kindly share your screen.
All right. I've sent the request, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is it on display now, sir?
No. Once anybody sees it, let me know. I've not seen, but if you've seen Mr. Toby's screen, if you see Mr. Toby's screen, let me know.
I believe can be seen now, right?
Yes, the screen is up now.
Okay. So, sir, should it be the Cisco packet, sir?
Yes, I guess it's the Cisco packet tracer.
Okay.
Right, thank you. I can see your screen. So go on, just go ahead, install, just double click. Right, so just double click.
Okay.
Install, by the way. Thank you.
So yes.
So, Mr. Frederick, are you with us? Mr. Frederick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so go ahead and install and who again? I think I don't know if Mr. Sampson is on seat now. I know he told me you're busy somewhere. So just a pretty straightforward installation and yeah, Mr. K, can you hear me? So click OK. Mr. K, can you hear me?
Should I launch?
Yes, launch please. Thank you. Mr. K, can you hear me? Click OK. Yeah, you can hear me, right? Thank you. So you already have it installed, right? So you're just going to
Yes.
do, we're just going to do this together. So click allow and then okay, 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 okay. So that's fine. So I'm going to share these screenshots. What I did, I'm going to share it to the group right now. And then, so I will allow. So we're just going to do the same, similar. It might not be exactly the way I designed, but all of these devices, that's this setup I did. So I'm going to just a moment. So let me send the screenshot. So I'm sending it to the group. So it means that this is just a local network that we are setting up. We are still going to add more computers to this network. So we're going to add not just computers, devices, right? So I'm sending it to the group right away. The right. So just in case. So, but we are using Mr. Toby's screen, right? So just go on. Let's go on. No need coming to the group. Just let's go on. So, okay, you've all seen it. So you
Okay.
can come back to your chat. Come back to the, Telegram. To the packet tracer. So now,
Hello.
if you've not installed yet, please let me know.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Frederick.
Sorry, I have we know the federal features.
Yeah, allow it. It's telling you to allow or you can allow it.
Sorry, I have one. It says in private networks such as home or do I click on the checkbox?
I didn't get that.
Okay, it's saying allow pack tracker 60 of private
Allow.
network that should
Just
allow everything.
yeah, just allow. So I think
Right.
it's a pretty straightforward installation.
Thank you.
So, who hasn't installed? If you've not installed, let me know. Provided you have your laptop with you, so let me know. Or if you've installed, so let's see. Okay, the next, if you're still installing, please let me know. I know I've confirmed that 3 persons already have it installed. So, who again? I think that's all. Yeah, I think it's just okay, Mr. Steven, you're welcome. So if you have this installed, let me know. Yeah, Mr. Steven Adewale, can you hear me? Okay, so let's just go on. So now, you're going to do this. Um, you see that first device.
Yes.
I mean, not those yeah, from there. So when you hover, take your mouse there, you see that that's a router, right? So I'm going to be talking about devices
Yes.
shortly, right? So that's a router. Then the next one is a switch. So we'll go to the next one. No, another one. Okay, yeah.
Mouse.
Hub. So the next one before that one,
Wireless
second one,
device.
the second one, no, the second from the left to the right. The
That
first,
switches.
yes. So then the second is hub. The third is wireless. Then the fourth wireless. Then the fifth one is cable, right? Right. So
Something connections.
yes. So that's for cable. So currently now the router is checked or is selected. So the first one. So every of these are different models. Okay, you know what you do? You're going to give me control. I'm going to request for control, right? So
Oh,
you grant me control. I've requested for control. So as I'm moving my mouse, others would all see my mouse because if I was moving my mouse, I don't think nobody anyone. So now this one here, just confirm if you can see my mouse.
not yet, sir. Okay, it's working now.
All right, so all of these are different flavors or models of routers. Right. So there is another packet with an advanced one which we'll be sharing. So that one is version 8. So that's version 8 has much more devices compared to this one. So we're going to share that, especially when we get to the aspect of routing and um port security. So the fourth one is the one we are using, which is what? 2621, right? Confirm to me that's 2621, Mr. Toby.
Your mouse is on. That's very well.
Ye-
2621 XM.
Yes, 2621. So let's click on this 2621 XM router. So let's do that. So we are setting up or we are calling up the 2621 XM router. So what you will do is you take it to one side. I take it to one side. Right. And then the next one is the switch, right? So by the left, when you click on that one there, click on it. So I think most maybe I would have just done it for my own screen. Okay, let me allow you to do it. So click on the second one.
It switches. Okay.
See if you can do that. So the second one from the left. So right now, so we are using a 3560 switch, layer 3 switch. So that's the second one so that's the second to the last, right? So that's the one we are selecting.
Yes.
Yes. So click on that one.
Should I move it?
Yeah, you can either move or you click. So that's the one we are. So take it to where you. So just directly under the router. Just pick it directly under the router. So
It's okay like this, sir.
yeah, it's fine. So now call up 4 computers. So you're going to come down. So if you are stuck or you're just watching, so Mrs. Bettila, can you hear me? Mrs. Betila, can you hear me? Confirm if you can hear me. Mr. Toby can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so if you know you're not following
Yes,
or
we can
hearing
hear
me.
you, sir.
All right, so now let's call up 4 computers. 4 computers. So if you're having any issue, I'll call you to share your screen. So call up 4 computers now. Thank you. So they have come down by the first, what I call it menu. That's two selection. The down one, the ones down.
Is it this was
No, down. Just come down
is it
completely.
this part?
If you can see my mouse here, down,
I'm not seeing your mouse.
down,
I'm
down,
not
down.
seeing your mouse, sir.
So okay. So let me stop. Let me share my screen. Stop sharing. Let me share my screen. So that'll make it
Okay, sir.
faster. Let me share my screen. So I'm gonna share my screen again. I'm gonna share my screen. So right, so I hope you can all see my screen. I will take this one off. So I'm gonna delete this now. I'm deleting the right thing. Okay. So there is if you are using this version, if you look around, look by this far right, you'll see selection to this one will be two to drag. You get, so this will be two to drag or move. This one is notepad. If you want to type, like you want to make a mark or something. So this one is if you want to delete. Hope you can see my mouse. The last one here, if I want to delete this server, I'll just click on it. Right. So if I don't want to delete, I want to remove it. I want to take it back to default or normal. So it's the first selection tool here. So this one is zoom. You want to zoom, out. Right. So that's for that. So for now, we're just going to stick with this first two. So this one here is when you maybe mistakenly maybe you added something that you're not supposed to add. You can always come to delete. Right. So you can always come to delete. So let me check the chat. All right. So you can always come to delete. Now I want to set up exactly what I've set up here. So
Excuse me.
yeah, I'm with you.
Regarding the router, I'm using a different version, so I do not have the exact number that you guys are having.
Right. So you can use
Um,
2911 series.
oh,
29
okay.
11 or 20. Yeah, it's just 2911 series, 2910.
Oh,
That's for version 8. So we're going to install that later, much later. So good thing you have it already. So well, you can, I think that's the only difference in what we are setting up. And there's this other firewall that you two have that we don't have here. So let's look at my, Mr. Toby, I don't confirm if you can see my screen and you can see my
Sir,
mouse. You can see my mouse, right?
not
My
yet,
mouse
sir. The
moving.
mouse.
Yes,
No.
so
Oh, yeah, I can
this
see
is the
it
router
now.
here. This is the
Yes,
router
yes, yes.
setting up. Then the next one is switch. Just click on that second one. Then you're taking this switch here. Then after the switch, we want computer. So this is where you see the computer down, where you have end devices. So end devices. So we're going to be using laptops instead. Right, so we're going to be using laptops. So the second one here is laptop. Second menu here it's laptop or second icon. It's laptops. We are setting up we are calling out 4 laptops. So but what you're doing, right? Let it be at one side. See it should not be in the middle, at the middle. So let it be like very, very close to this side. Yeah. So in case we want to add or we need to yeah, we'll still add more networks. Okay, so let it be in the middle. So because I'm showing you how I'm putting mine here. So the next thing again we want to call out is the wireless router, which is this one. Right, so you see my mouse here, it's called wireless devices. Wireless devices. We are calling out this wireless router. So it will be here. So it will be here. Then if you are using this version, if you come to custom made devices, that's the one down, the fourth from the left, custom made devices. Right, you see wireless PC. So this PC has wireless USB adapter. This one doesn't have. So automatically they can connect to the router. Right, so they can connect to the router wirelessly. So this one. Then we'll call up our server. Yeah, I can hear you. Go on. So it's server. So Satobi, just confirm to me that you've you call this all of this up. So before we start the connection. So the firewall is not here yet. So confirm that you have all of these devices out. So have you or is there
I'm just
anyone?
about to do that.
All right, so let's do that. Let's do that quickly. So let's do that quickly. So because once that is connected, I will explain a couple of things here. Then just network devices. Then we start configuring the devices.
Please, I'm having issues calling up the laptop, sir.
Okay.
I think my mouse was on Zoom at that time, so I couldn't see the very while you were clicking on it, sir.
Okay. So you come to end devices. The
Okay,
first icon by the
okay,
far left down, where you have the
okay,
last. When you click on end devices, you see a laptop.
okay,
So when you click on the laptop there, drag the laptop to your work area,
okay.
or you click the laptop and click where you want it to be placed. So do that. Then you have your server. So we are using this cable, a copper straight through cable, to connect this computer, to connect all the computers via their fast Ethernet port. So their fast Ethernet port. So I'll show you the fast Ethernet ports. So this one here, this is the actual ports we are connecting this router. So this is it. So I mean, not the router, the computer to the switch. So this is the ports. This computer goes to this switch. So it's connected to this ports. Right? So that's the fast Ethernet port. So then this one connects. Okay, let me connect all of the computers then before I connect the switch to the router. So connect this one here, then connect this one here, then connect this one here. So the fast Ethernet ports, that's where we are connecting. Then the same copper straight through cable to server fast Ethernet port. So this switch, right? So this switch. I want us to have this there before talk about network devices. Then this switch fast Ethernet ports. So this wireless router, any of these Ethernet ports, I'll go with ports one, Ethernet one. So now let me say it again. All of these computers you're seeing here will be connected to the switch via this cable, which is the copper straight through cable. So you're connecting the computers to this switch via their fast Ethernet ports. So the fast Ethernet ports on the switch. Fast Ethernet ports from this computer to the fast Ethernet ports on this switch. So same thing here. Then this server, as well, the fast Ethernet port, right? Fast Ethernet port. So the fast Ethernet port on this switch. So the switch here is our central device. The switch is our central device. So um saying that's what I said earlier. If uh if I'd used the word backbone, I mean the question I asked, right? So I would have used critical. Like if I refer to the word more critical, would be firewall, right? So other than maybe backbone, right? So when it comes to that, this guy most likely will be our critical device. So I mean our backbone. So now this one here connects to the switch, from the switch to the router, the fast Ethernet port of the router. So they are all connected using network cables. So network cables. I mean copper straight through cables. So they are fast Ethernet ports. So the same cable. So this one is using wireless, right? So if you've done this, please let me know. So and I'll go on with the next phase. We'll go on to the next phase. So if you've done this, just let me know. React to this, and if you're on it, also let us know. If you're on it, let
Yeah.
us know. Or if
So,
you're having any issue, let me know.
hello.
I can hear
Hello.
you. Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Sorry, I got lost. I got lost in all of it. I've dropped my switch, my laptops, my PC. But how do I get the wireless router?
All right, so I'll stop sharing. You quickly share your screen, and then it's faster. I'll take it up from there.
Okay.
You're just going to share your screen. You're just going to share your screen. So
I'll send it.
yeah, it's coming up. Okay, so come down. Okay, not down. The wireless router, right? So the third icon from the left. From that, yeah, first, second, third, fourth, not third, fourth, I mean. Before the cable, before that orange here, that one, that's where you have your wireless. So the last icon is the wireless router. I clicked on it already, right? So that's the wireless router. So just click or drag. That's it. So then the the cable, you know where the cable is, right? One
In
with
the
the
server
orange,
first.
the one with the orange icon. So click on it. So to show you all the
I think
cables.
I
Click on that one. Yeah. So you'll see the cable. So
okay.
it's the third one. So you're using the third one, right? So that's the cable.
I
So
should click on
that's
it.
the copper straight tools. Yeah, so you use it to connect all of the devices. So make it snappy. You have to connect all of these devices together via that same cable. So you are doing that. Thank
Okay.
you. Right, so you stop sharing. Thank you. So stop sharing.
Server. I've not brought the server.
Right, so the server, it's
Please, I think
same
I'm stuck. I'm stuck there also. Please, can you recap, sir?
on
Like
which one?
connecting them together.
Yeah,
This I've set up all of this. So you said you should connect it together now.
right. Yeah, so you'll be connecting these devices via the same cable he just clicked on now, which is the copper straight cable, the third cable from the left. So you're going to click on the computer to show you the ports at the computer. So you're selecting fast Ethernet port, then connect to
This
the switch. Yes, the fast Ethernet port. Thank you. So
so
Please,
any port. So you can
uh,
start from one, any of them. There's no
okay.
good that say you would connect to since they're all fast Ethernet ports. So the good thing most times you want your network or connections to be well arranged. So do all of this.
So how do I bring up my last
Which
one?
one?
This
Which one?
uh,
Which one? I didn't get you. Like, how do you bring up what?
Yes, sir. We are using copper straight, right?
Yes, very well. That's it. Copper straight cable.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
The server, how do I bring up the server?
Yes, the same area where you called up your computers. The server is also part of. You just
Yeah.
come to where you clicked, where you saw those computers. The first icon on the left, the last icon. Yeah, so the third one there is the server. The third one here. So that's the server.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you. So you can stop sharing. So let me share. I don't think you're fine.
Mr. Steve,
Yeah.
my wireless is just connecting to all the devices. How am I going to do that? My wireless is just
Maybe
connecting to all the devices.
so your laptop is connecting to not like your wireless, but your laptop is connecting to the wireless to the wireless router wirelessly. So it means that those cable, those I mean not the cable,
Yeah.
the computers you use, they all have wireless adapters. So there's always there are some computers that doesn't have wireless adapters, so you would have used those ones, right? So do you want to share your screen or you want to look for it?
Maybe I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I?
Quickly share your screen. Let's look at the actual. You are using a different version. So let's look at it.
So as I'm trying to connect the router and the switch together, is it
Okay.
the auxiliary or the console, or which one I'm going to
Router and the
use?
switch. The same
Yes.
fast Ethernet, the same, I mean, copper straight through. We are not using any other cable for now, apart from the copper straight through. Take note. So we are using the same copper straight through.
Yeah.
So share your screen.
Um,
So eh,
So I
okay.
can hear you, Mr. Toby. Go on.
can you see my screen now?
Just 1 second, Mr. Toby, go on. Let me hear you.
Okay.
Any
So I'm trying to connect the switch to the router. So it brings
okay.
out the option of auxiliary console, fast Ethernet 0/0, fast
So
Ethernet 0/1.
fast Ethernet ports. You mean the ports, right? To connect.
Yes.
Oh, but you've used the actual cable, which is the copper straight through. So you are
Yes, I've
using
done. I've
fast.
connected the four systems.
Yeah, so you are using the fast Ethernet ports. So we are going to understand this fast Ethernet ports. I just want us to establish that network. So why fast Ethernet port? Why these ports? So we are going to explain that. So now let's connect it to the fast Ethernet. I think that's fine. So this computer, let me see, where did you get these computers? Where did you get them?
From here,
So click on it again.
it goes.
Uh, so scroll to your right, your left, I mean. Just move that arrow down, the arrow down, move it to your left. There's an arrow down, come down. So come to your right. There's
Here.
a left, an arrow that swings left and right.
1 second.
Yes, yes. So you've left there. Okay, yeah. Slide left, slide. So which one did you
Yeah.
connect? Is it?
I took this once.
Yeah, okay, that's the one you
Laptop
use,
and
right?
PC.
So
Mm-hmm.
probably you use PC. Call out PC. Let me see. Let's confirm. I want to confirm if. So I would say we should disable, but now let's see if this one will connect. Let's see if it will connect wirelessly. It doesn't
It's
connect, right? It
mm-hmm.
doesn't connect because it doesn't take too long to connect. Now let's confirm for laptop. So this is for desktop. So click on that laptop again. Let's see. So I want to be sure. Yes, I want to be sure that this is the one you clicked, you choose. Probably you choose the wrong one.
Yeah.
I okay if I let's
Also,
say
Okay, so it means that you probably were using the wrong laptop. Cancel. You're using the laptop for the wireless, so you don't need to even move that router away. You're only going to delete those other computers. Did you
So
get what I said?
I need to delete the other computers.
Yes, yes.
And then, but which computers then should I use? Is that the
The
only
second,
PC that
the one after, no, hold on. Yes, that's the one you would use. That's the one you should use.
is it not the one that I used before?
No, you wouldn't have removed that wireless router. You wouldn't have removed the wireless router. So that would that's without you confirm. So bring back the wireless router. Yes, that's it. So the wireless router. So everybody, all the other computers will connect now. So close this, please.
You see
So
now,
they will connect. Yeah, hold on. Now, you see all the four computers that are connected to it because they have wireless cards, wireless
oh,
adapters. So this one doesn't have. So you took the four computers here. These are the wrong ones. Right. So you only
oh,
just delete maybe two.
okay.
Yeah, delete two. In fact, just give me access. So let me do that. So I'll request for control now. So let me quickly do that. Since I'm already seeing the where you made the mistake. So thank you. So I'm going to delete. So this is your delete, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've clicked on it, but I don't think it has taken effect. So delete. Hope I'm not deleting. That's not the one I want to delete. I want to delete this one. So it's when I click delete, yes.
Mm,
This one, yes.
Mark.
So we are not connecting this. This is the wrong one. So this is a selection tool now, right? So I'll bring this one here, bring this one here, bring this one. Your network is so beautiful. I don't know how you did this. It's so just beautiful. So your network is, I believe you're the only one that understands this network because it's your network. So I'll delete this one. It seems you've gone fast if I end of us because all these things that you have here, I don't know where you got them from. So just leave this one here. Then use this switch. This goes here. Then this one comes here. Right. So then you call up. These are the computers now, right? So call
yeah.
up four computers here. Call up another one. Then use this cable. Connect this one to this one. Here are the fast Ethernet ports. Then connect here, connect here, connect here, like that. So I'm gonna stop here. So I believe,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've almost, we are still setting this up again, and but not today, not even tomorrow, right? So we are still gonna like set up this again. So even though I'm doing it, I believe your own, you can still want to do it. So I'm not think I even did it because you did it yourself, just that you made mistake. So I believe you still do it again and again and again. So it's just knowing where the cable. So this router has gigabits ports, not fast Ethernet port like others. So take note of that. So in case you're saying or you're hearing us talking about on the router gigabits, right? So gigabytes or gigabits here. So know that your own router should be. If we're talking about fast Ethernet port, know that your own router is gigabit. Take note of that. So
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
This one, you can delete this one if you want to. So for this firewall, just leave it aside for now. Let's leave the firewall. So we're not connecting the firewall. So these two can still be here. All right, thank you. So just stop sharing. Mr. Frederick, any updates? So I'm going to share my screen.
Ó jẹ́ ìgbà tó jẹ́ tán kí ló ṣe?
Please mute your mic
Ẹ
if you're saying something outside our meeting. Okay, so we're back here. So Mr. Toby, what's the updates now?
Yes, I would love to share my screen so that you can see why it's
No,
not
no,
talking.
just tell me, are you having any issue? Anyone that is having any issue, that's what I want.
Uh, Okay. I've connected the server then to the switch. And I think I have it figured out this way. But the PC, PT, both one and two or stuff like that, are not connected to the wireless yet.
Okay, you're using the wrong PC, right? So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
So come here. Okay, come here. Custom made devices. Can you see it?
Okay.
Wait,
Yes.
so this is the computer you would use. That's the wireless PC.
Okay.
Can you see it?
The generic CRB.
Yes, the custom, yeah, the generic.
Okay.
So try
That's the
that first.
wireless I'm going to use.
Yeah, so have you done that? You should connect automatically. Done.
No, sir.
And why now? Just to call it
Generic
up.
C.
Since you have a wireless router, you should connect automatically.
But I'm clicking on something
Okay, please
else.
share your screen in a moment.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Share screen. So this is it, sir.
No,
Kindly click on that pic
connected.
too. Kindly click on that pic too. You don't even have a wireless router here. So what do you?
No, I deleted it too.
That's why they
I
cannot connect now
deleted
without the
I
wireless
deleted
router.
it after you said I should
All right,
bring
so
in
it means
another
that you have
one.
to call back that wireless router. So how did you call it up before? Let me ask.
I'm
That's not
coming.
it. Kindly delete it.
Yes, I'm coming.
So
So this is what I think down here.
so come
That's
come
it.
here now. First, second, third, and fourth. The icon from the left, first, second, third, fourth. Click on it.
First,
No, no,
second,
not no
third,
no no no
fourth.
no.
This.
From the main menu. From the main menu here, where you have cable, the icon before cable. Course the next one
This
before cable.
up.
Yes, wireless
Okay.
devices.
Okay. Then this.
Yes, please.
I've done that, sir.
So if you are using the wireless computers, so it should connect automatically, except you're using just an ordinary computer.
Okay. It's not
Hold
connecting,
on,
sir.
hold
So
on, hold on. You're using the wrong one. So not to waste more time. So just give me control. I've requested for control.
done, sir.
So just look at my mouse. So this is the one you will pick. This PC. This is the
Okay.
one you will pick, not that one that you saw there. This is the one you will pick, not that one that you
Okay.
selected. So I'm deleting these two. So I'm going to connect this one now. I'm going to connect this one. Okay, maybe you do that yourself. So this one, so this one, fast Ethernet. So that's all.
Okay, sir.
So you can connect the router to the switch. So I believe that's fine.
Okay, sir.
So if you have any, this thing, you're fine already. So I think Mr. Frederick is joining back. So what's the update? Mr. Adewale City, can you hear me? So please mute your mic. If you know where you are, it's noisy. So let's stop sharing. Let me share my screen. So let's move at pace. We have I have 20 minutes at my own end now to do whatever I intend doing now, what I want to do. Then the rest will be you do what I did and practice, Mr. Aditola. All right, so that's for now. So I'll share my screen right away. So please, I want everyone to pay attention now. All right, so let's hit this once and for all. So we have so this is the network you already have established, right? So this would take us to your tax for tomorrow. So the tax will not be submitted tomorrow. No. So the tax will continue to so what we are doing, right? You have to do it before we meet tomorrow so that you're able to continue from where we stop. So we'll all continue from where we stop. So we are not submitting. So if it means that you've not done it, right, in the call we'll all know because we'll all just be progressing from where we stopped. So it means that if you're having any issue or if you've not done it, you're having any challenge or doing it or setting up or configuring. So it means that you have to let me know or share to the group on time. So I've not done XYZ, please, I'm having issue. Then we can tackle it. So not when it is time for our session. Now say, I didn't do it, so please. So we'll not come back to what we want to have done before we meet. So whatever I'm doing now, might not finish it. I'll finish mine, right? Give you a different scenario, then do tomorrow. So now here we have local network. So this is another typical local network. So these two networks are not connected yet. Right, so these two networks are not. So if you have anything to say, please you can if you send to the chat, I might not see it on time. So you can just quickly unmute and tell me. So I won't or you react. I think I can see reaction faster compared to chat.
Hear me?
So yeah. Is someone talking? Mr. Abdullah, it seems your mic, it seems it's you that is talking. Your mic needs to be fine-tuned. All right, so let me go on now. So we have here different devices. So I'm going to call up um these devices here. So I'm going to call up a wireless router. So take note of this. So if you hear me talking about wireless routers or switches or routers, you get. So we're going to understand what this thing is. And I'm also going to take you through Google. So to show you some images on these devices. So in case you're seeing them here, so you'll be able to know them, right? So this is a switch. This is a wireless router. That's a Cisco modular, not modular, a Cisco managed switch. So this is a wireless router. Then this is a Cisco modular router, a 2621 XM Cisco modular router. Then we also have a hub. Is this a hub? Okay. So this is a hub. Then this is a repeater. So this is a repeater. So we're going to talk about these devices. Um, so I would have, let me add a firewall, just briefly, a firewall. So bring in a firewall here. See all of these devices arranged here. So I want to talk a little about them. So I'll not spend time on these devices. So much later, when we progress, even tomorrow, we'll still talk about the switch and the router. So majorly the switch and the router is what we'll be talking on now. So this one here, it's a hub. Right, so this hub here is also a central device. If I based on the question I asked, if I say, oh, the backbone, somebody answered the backbone of this network is if I use that word, might be the switch. Right. So when I say network, right, so it's the switch. Right. So it's the switch. When the switch is down, everybody just disconnects. They are not connected. They are not connection. Right. So but wireless people in the wireless segment will be connected. So but the server will not be connected. So switch seems to be the backbone, right? So, but that's just in the network. So when you see the organization at large, right? So I might not bring it down to the switch, right? So I cannot connect it to the switch. So now you see this switch here is the central device. So this hub too can be the central device, can be a central device. So how do I bring this in now into this picture? Okay, let me connect this using the same straight through cable. So I'm going to connect it. So the hub. So I'm going to connect it to this hub. So I'll do this one like this. I'm trying to manage. So it's connected. So now I'll call up two more computers that will connect. Don't do this, please. What you did, what you've done is fine. So there's no point doing what I'm doing now, right? So trying to explain the switch, the router, the hub, the repeaters, the firewall, get. So this is the hub. These other two computers are connected to our network via the hub as their central device or as their own major device, right? So they might not know what the other devices are, right? Oh, if they even have a switch, if we have a router, probably they're in one room, in one office, they are using a switch, right? So they're using a switch. So now, I'm going to blend both local and wide area network. So this is a local area network, typical local area network. So local area network here is the connection of devices, right? So connection of devices within a confined area of building. So just like you at home, your computer or your computers or laptops are connected to your central to your wireless router or your hotspots, your phone hotspots. Other users are connected to the to your phone hotspot or to your wireless router or to your switch, right? So either wirelessly connected or via cable, right? So that connection it's confined in your room, right? So it is local to your room or in that building. So that's what the word local is. So when you hear local area network, right? So when you hear local area network, know that we are well, when you hear us say local to your LAN or your local network, means that we are it's limited to what you're seeing, the infrastructures, what you devices you're seeing in your at home or your office. So when we now say wide area network, so it means that oh, it is no longer limited to your LAN. So it means that your LAN or your network is interconnected or is connected to another network, right? So there are devices that would allow you or that would take you out of your local network to another local network that forms the WAN, which is the wide area network. You understand? So that's for that. Now, this is a typical local network. Two computers connected to this hub. So we want to talk about the hub. I heard my voice. So it's scary, man. So like someone was taking my voice. So now this switch, this hub, it's let me open up the port. So I'll use this to explain. So it's 8 ports, right? I mean 6 ports. Unlike this switch that is 24 ports, switch has more ports. So now this hub, it's works like an electronic basket. So it works like an electronic basket. So it doesn't um it's not as and connected to this one. So it's not advisable that we make use of a hub in our local network. When you hear people say connect to the hub or in your office or at home, you hear the word hub. So it means that they are using obsolete device. So we are not supposed to be using a hub because it is obsolete. So why is it obsolete? Or why is it not advisable to make use of hub or a hub in our environment? It's because, or in our network, just because we are simulating this, right? So once we are done, you see we'll yank off this because we don't want a hub near our network. So the way the hub works, it makes this network, it causes congestion on this network, right? So it causes congestion on this network, makes the communication slow. Why? Because this hub you're seeing here, I call it electronic basket. This hub you're seeing here, you see all of these ports, these 6 ports you're seeing here, while logically, physically, there are 6 ports. But logically, the hub sees it, logically, it is one port. It is just one port in a hub environment. Logically, it is one. You see all of these 6 or 3 devices connected, right? So they want to communicate to each other. at the same time. With a hub in a hub environment, it is almost not possible at the same time. So at the same time, this guy wants to send a message to this one wants to send a message to this one wants to communicate at the same time. It means that we are going to do it one at a time because this hub uses just one channel, just one throughput, right? So in this kind of network, it means that our network is prone to collision. So um, there will be lags in our network, always collision, you know. So the another thing again about this hub, the hub uses or when I say uses it has okay, it's a half duplex. Let me use the word. I think that's the better word. So it's a half duplex device, right? So it's a half duplex device. So being a half duplex device, so it means that let me put the word hub here. So I'll just put out those points, right? So I called it electronic basket, right? So electronic basket. Uh, I'm trying to explain this electronic basket. So I also talked about half duplex. So half duplex, this is 10 Mbps speed. So that is how the hub it operates at 10 MB, Mbps megabits per seconds. So unlike the switch that operates at 100 Mbps. So why is it half duplex? Because these devices cannot communicate at the same time, right? So one channel. So it works like a walkie-talkie, whereby we can't communicate. If you've used a walkie-talkie before, or you have seen someone using a walkie-talkie, you notice that the two persons or users they can't communicate at the same time. It's one person at a time, right? So because that device uses the architecture, the everything, the circuit, everything is half duplex, so it's built around that. So it's not possible we talk at the same time, right? So that's how the hub works. So another thing again, so why I call it electronic basket is this. If this guy tries to send a message to this guy, take notes. Let me use computer 12 tries to send a message to computer 13, right? So do you know in a hub environment, do you know what happens? Right? These other two guys will receive it. These other two computers will receive it. These other two computers will receive it in a hub environment. So it is not, there's no secret in a hub. So most times it's always advisable to use a hub at home. But in your office, imagine we're using a hub here instead of a switch. So there will be delays in our communication. Computer networking is a connection of two or more devices. You know, we didn't talk about the limitations of computer networking. We didn't talk about the advantages or disadvantages. So limitations can be using a hub or using a starting cable or a starting device when you know the data you pull in that network it's large. So we're going to understand all of this as we move on in our computer networking aspect. So we don't need a hub and we don't need to talk about hub much in our network. So I mean our in today's session, right? So we don't need a hub. So now okay, lastly, this hub operates at the layer one of the OSI model. OSI model. So the layer one of the OSI model. So there are 7 layers. So operate at layer one of the OSI model. And then the hub something came to my mind earlier. Okay, use this what we call CSMACD protocol. So CSMACD protocol. So which is carrier sense multiple um access collision detection. So remember I said I'm going to do more of talking today, right? So it is necessary. If not, so we'll not just jump into that configuration. So I'm going to do more of the talking. So and today I don't think we'll even have time to talk about IP addressing. So let's just leave it that way. So tomorrow, but so if you miss today, maybe even though you are here physically, your mind is, I mean, you are there where you are, but your mind is, you are doing multitasking. But tomorrow, try to pay attention because for you to be able to do all of the tasks for next week, right? So it means that you should understand IP addressing, yeah, to a reasonable extent. So now, That's for the hub. So, okay, I was talking about carrier sense multiple access uh, the collision detection. Yeah, I think that's correct. So now, so it is embedded on this hub, right? It's embedded on this hub. So with the CSMA CD, that's what directs traffic, or that's what helps in managing messages and the flow of data from this guy to this guy. So if the CSMACD is not there, so it means that when this one tries to send, this one is sending, this one is sending at the same time, the hub will be so busy that, right, there will be clash, there will be clashing of signal, collision of signals, or so the CMACD would help, right? To say, okay, computer laptop 12 is sending, is the one that first generated or initiated that send, right? Now, once this one is done, this one should send. Even though these two computers will receive it, but this ones that first delivered us, I mean, sent that message will go first. Then the next person, that second person that sends, would his own message will go, then this two other two will receive it. So that's for that. So you know that when they now all want to send at the same time, they say we have like six computers connected, they all want to send at the same time. The CSMACD will be, it might fail temporarily. So it's so busy that it doesn't know who to attend to. So that's why we always relate this as a traffic warder that controls traffic, right? So Mr. A, go, then Mr. B, don't go, hold on. Or you see the traffic lights. Most times when you don't have a traffic light, see, or there's no policeman, or maybe yeah, let me just say policeman that would direct traffic. You see that people comes and every buses or cars want to go at the same time. There'll be fights, there'll be quarrels, there'll be commotion, there'll be bashing of cars. So that's why we need that CSMACD. But, even though when the traffic warden or the policeman is there, if all the vehicles are coming to him, he might even fail, he might even run away because he say, these guys, they can kill me, or they can, he wants to run, you know he might not be able to, even though he doesn't want, he might not be able to control the traffic again when they are coming to him at the same time. So who will go first? That's when he'll get confused. Who should I allow? So it might take him some time. By the end of the day, all messages will be sent, but some will be dropped or might be dropped. So that's for that. So now for the repeater. So the repeater is pretty straightforward. So the repeater would extend, or I would say, I'm looking for a word. Okay, let me use the word. We repeat signals, right? So, or we regenerate. Yeah, I love that. So we regenerate signals, right? So from one point to another. So, or we amplify the signal. That's another word. So I will just stick with either. Okay, we are all familiar with the word extend, right? I think that's a much more common word, right? So most times we want to use, so I'll connect this switch, I mean this hub to this repeater. So the repeater has two ports. Okay, before I do that, right? So let me show you the repeater. It has two ports. So this is if a cabled repeater. So this one doesn't have the wireless repeater. Okay, there's access points too, and there are wireless router and there are repeater. So most times we use this interchangeably, right? So but when you know what this device is, so like so this I just don't want to talk much on the repeater and hub. So it's the switch that will take you to Google and show you some pictures and diagrams and the like, so you understand what I'm talking about. So, but just know that when we have a repeater in this our network, probably in the ground floor, we don't have um, signals. Wireless signals cannot get to the ground floor, right? We or connection cannot. There is no connection on the ground floor. We can connect this cable, right? So from this switch to this repeater, right? So to regenerate the signal most of the time, or to continue where the just move the packet or traffic, or I don't want to use a packet take traffic data from one point down to where this one is. So now this one can now be connected to a switch, right? So people downstairs, So if they have this, they will just connect to a switch. So they'll connect to a switch. So we don't need to configure it straight up. So they will connect to a switch. It has the signal has been extended. So if it is a wireless repeater, just like most times we'll connect our there are some organizations where you go to, or even your like my own mobile TV, right? I do connect. I have a my phone. If I want to use my phone to the TV, maybe I'm in a different room. I want to extend the signal to the TV. So I will bring a wireless repeater close to the TV, then connect the TV to the repeater via cable. My phone will be connected to the repeater. The repeater will extend the signal to the so the TV might not be able to get the whole signal, right? So it might just be 2 bars or 2 bar, right? So it's not be strong. The internet, the connection will not be effective. So I now need a repeater that will boost the signal, or a repeater that will amplify the signal, a repeater that will regenerate the signal, a repeater that will extend the signal. You understand? So that's why we need this repeater. So repeater operate at layer one. So it is doesn't need any configuration. So it is not brilliant as well. Just a give and take. It's a garbage in. Just give me what I receive is what I just push out. So I would say it's a little bit intelligent than the hub, right? So the hub is as dumb as anything. So now I'm going to delete this one, right? So I'm going to delete this one, the repeater, the hub, so not to confuse things here. So I'm going to delete this one. So now we're going to come to the switch, then the router. So then I have how many minutes to do one or two configurations. So we should wrap up in the next 35 minutes. So I have to be a little faster, right? So we'll have something to work on tomorrow before we meet again. So now this switch, the switch operates at layer 2, while repeaters and hubs operate at layer 1 of the OSI model. Right, so the switch operates at layer 2. So I would talk about the switch and the router at the same time. So you can see this is a wireless router. This is a modular Cisco router. So this is a switch, a managed switch. So we have dummy switches, right? So we have dummy switches. So this switch is a managed switch. Why I call it a managed switch? Because it can be configured, right? So it can be configured. So I can connect a cable here, right? So I will use this cable, right, the console cable to connect to the console port of this switch. So this is what I would do. Right, so connect this cable to the console port of this switch. So configure the switch. So it's a configurable switch. So there are some dummy switches. So let me just take you down here. Network switches. So you see network switches. Um, you see different network switches. So these are network switches, just connect. You can see it connects network switches. There are different models, different. So this is a dummy switch. It cannot be configured. It's a dummy switch. It cannot be configured. I think this is a modular switch. I'm not a modular, sorry. A managed switch. It can be configured. So this is a managed switch. This is a managed switch. So how do I know? From the look, I know them, right? So we if it's on managed switch, it means that what you just need to do is just to connect. Switches are plug and play. So take notes, even though I call them managed switches, it doesn't mean that having a switch in our network means that we must configure them. So the essence of having this switch, this particular switch in this network, is to allow more, in fact, to allow more devices to connect to the network via cable. Right. So, if you go to the bank, right, so in a banking environment, you know that most of them, they make use of, most of the computers in the bank, they use cables, right? So they make use of cables. So even though we allow devices to connect to our network wirelessly because of mobility, ease of access and movement, you know, it means that um we have to secure that network. But I'm still going to come to the aspect of wireless security, right? So means that at times we can even hide the SSID, the service set identifier of that network, the network name, so it's not be seen by anybody. Most times it's for security reasons. All the staffs, right? So in that organization, so because of the kind of environment that we have or we find ourselves, all the computers would be connected via cable. So what will allow us to connect computers to our network via cable is switches. Switches will do that for us. Routers can do that, but it is limited. Router has fewer ports compared to a switch. So there are switches of 48 ports, right? So in fact, there was one I saw. I think 52 or 54. I didn't say, I just saw it on the rack. So the person just told me we have a 54 port switch here. So he was just explaining his network to me, right? So I was like, I would like to see that switch, right? So there are switches with more ports, a whole lot of ports, right? So because we have many a lot of computers that connect to the network via cable. So the switch, it's I'm trying to bring a word. Okay, let me say the switches are hardware in nature. Let me use the word. So switches are more hardware based. I think that's the word. So switches are hardware based devices, while routers are logical devices. So when I mean logical, so I mean their nature. So not that they are because um they are physical or they are not physical. No, their nature. So let me come here and I'll do so let me say routers. Okay, we are using 2621 XM router. So let's use the same router, 2621 XM routers, right? So you see that it's the same router we are configuring. So is this the same router we set up? So it's the same router, right? So that same router. So we are going to add this port. It's a modular router. So that switch that we set up, network switch, right? So network switch, right? So 35, I think 60 layer 3 switch, right? So layer 3 switch. So I want to balance the two up. So this is the switch that we are setting up. So this is the switch, the same switch, right? So that we are setting up the same switch. So you can see them here. So now packed. What am I doing? So that's for that. So now this is logical in nature. This is physical in nature. So this one has okay, let me fine tune that now. So when I mean physical and logical or hardware based, right? So it's because this switch doesn't need you don't need to administer this switch for it to start working. You don't need to configure this switch for it to just work, for it to start working. So we only need to configure our computers, right? So we only need to configure IP addresses on our computers. If we are to use this switch, I mean, if we are to communicate via this switch as our central device using our switch as, so it means that there will be computers, IP addresses on our computers. So switch, we don't need to do that, right? So the switch, what the switch will do, it will register our MAC addresses. So that's why I call it hardware based, right? So all our laptops, our devices all have MAC addresses. In fact, I would have added network interface cards. So let me show you network interface cards, right? So network, which is NIC network. Most of you must have seen this interface cards, right? So they have the wireless one, right? So there are some, this is for desktop, right? So this is for desktop. So if you have a desktop computer that you want to use to connect to your network via cable, just install this. Then we have the wireless network cards. Let me see wireless. This one will have pole. You can connect this one to your laptop to provide wireless connectivity. But then you can say wireless. Okay, let me not even go. I'm going too far. So if I go to that, I'm going outside my scope. So now this is the router, the modular router, right? So this router needs IP address. We need to configure this router, we need to configure, see this router here, okay, let me use this too. This is a modular Cisco router. This is a wireless router. So the difference between this and this, it's clear, right? It is clear. So this one will allow devices to connect to the network wirelessly. This one doesn't have the wireless functionality, right? So this one has fewer ports, right? So fewer ports compared to the switch. So switches are used majorly in a local network. Switches are used majorly in a local network, while routers are used not just in local network, but we can use it in we can use it to connect local networks together. You understand? So not necessarily because I said switches or I mean routers can be used to connect networks together without we cannot have a router. Or if we have a router, it means that we are connected, we are going to use it to connect to other networks. No. So it all depends. So if I'm going to be connecting these two networks together, so it means that I'm going to connect them I'm going to connect these two networks via a router. I'm going to connect them via a router. Not, I've not added. Let me add one port, right? So let me add a port to this. So I'm going to connect this via. So to connect these two. So this is it. So they are connected now, right? So the two routers are connected. So if I say, let me take this cable off, so the two networks are connected. Let me use the word. If I take off that cable and I say I want to connect this, it will never allow me to connect to this port. But I've used the other port. But if I'm connecting this to this I'm extending the network, right? So it depends on the port actually that I'm connecting it to. So, but preferably if I'm extending the network, I will go from this switch to this switch to extend the network, right? So, but it doesn't make sense to just connect this router to this switch, right? So if it's on another port, to create another network for us. So now let me come back to this switch and the router. I'm going to take these two up, right? So this hardware based physical in nature, then this router is logical in nature. Why? Because it needs IP addressing. So why is it logical? IP addresses are logical in nature. MAC addresses are physical in nature. So you saw my IP address here. If you go to your command prompt, you do IP config. I just have 2 minutes to finish this, then go to configuring these devices. So all configure as well. If you cannot finish it today, we'll finish it up tomorrow before we meet. So IP config again, you will see my IP addresses. So if I say IP config /all, I'll see MAC addresses, right? So I'll see MAC addresses. So these are MAC addresses. So these MAC addresses, even though I don't have IP addresses configured on my laptop. So let me show you this one. Even though I don't have IP address, like this laptop doesn't have IP address. You can see no IP address, but you can see there's okay, that's for Mac what's it called? That's for IPv6. Right, so I think it's somewhere here. Uh okay, let me try to do IP config. Maybe I'll see it. Let me see if it will show. Okay, you can see here there's MAC address. So even though I don't have IP address, there's always a MAC address. So it means that even though you're not connected to any network or you don't have IP address, no device is issuing IP address to your laptop. It means that your mobile phone, right? That your laptop, that's any of the device that was part of a network, right? That has functionality to connected to a network, definitely would have a MAC address. So it is embedded on the network interface cards. So it is embedded on this, right? So there's one I saw. You see this network interface card here, right? So there's a MAC address, right? So MAC addresses are much more unique. When we go to IP address, I will explain that better, right? So now this port, right? So if you connect network cable here, it goes to the switch, right? So this port will now have IP address. But on this network interface card, there's a MAC address embedded on it. Take note. So it is there by default. So when you hear man in the middle attack, app spoofing, right? So most people, because right, so want to change their MAC address, right? So or change masquerade themselves into someone's network, their local network, and then manipulate their MAC addresses. So that's part of what we'll be doing. So now this router here operates at layer 3 of the OSI model. Why this one operates at layer 2? Okay, this is a what's it called? A layer, you can see multi-layer. This is a layer 3 switch, right? So why this is a layer 3 router? So we are calling this a layer 3 switch because it has some functionalities of a router. And the first number here tells us 3. So whenever I see 3 something, tells you that that's a layer 3 switch. Whenever it's a switch. So these ones are layer 2 switches. right? So it's also a managed switch, right? So, but we can't configure IP address on this switch. So the difference between this switch, that's why I say we should use this one, because in the long run, we are going to be configuring IP address on the layer 3 switch. We cannot configure IP address on this switch by default, but we can configure IP address on this switch, but not by default. We have to make this a non-switchable, make that port a non-switchable port. So we are going to come to that. So for us to configure IP address on this port is not possible, but for this it is possible. But by default we cannot. It is not possible until we convert this port, one of those ports. So it's switching ports. So that's for that. But on this port, on the router's port, we can configure IP addresses straight up to the port, because IP addresses are logical. The router needs IP addresses. The routers are more of okay, router does not forward packet by default. Router needs to learn networks. So switches doesn't really know, oh, I belong to a local network. Mine is, okay, I'm here, I'm your central device. Devices are connected to me via a cable or via cables, right? So what I do, packets or data flows through me, but the router doesn't do that. If you don't tell the router, oh, please don't send this data to Mr. Newton, or don't send this packet should not go to Mr. Toby. It will never go there, right? So you have to tell the router what to do. So that's how the router works. So I think that's for that. For the wireless router, nothing much about it. So most likely we are going to touch based on this router and switch. I would have asked for question, like if you have any question now, but let's just keep it on hold. So I don't want us to end without doing this today, right? So tomorrow I'm just going to come straight, start with IP addressing. First, review what we did, right? So what you will be doing, or if you cannot finish it today, what you'll be doing before we meet, then before we talk about IP addressing. Now looking at this is the same design or the same network that you all established, right? So keep the firewall one side. So the firewall here, I didn't really talk much about it. Just know that, yeah, is the major security device or the defense in our network, right? So we're going to talk more on this. So now, looking at this design, looking at this network, right? Looking at this network. So we want these devices to communicate to each other, right? So the first thing I want to do here, so the first thing I want everybody to take notes. So I want to access this router now, right? I want to access this router from this guy, from this computer. Take notes. I want to access the router from this computer. I want to access the router from this computer. The computer that is connected to the switch via what? Via a network cable, right? So this already can access it. Now, so let's do this together. No, we're not doing what I want to do together. I just want to, like, let's just pay attention. So I have to speed up. So one person might will share screen, then would do what I did. It cannot be finished to continue. So now this computer, which is connected to the wireless router, has this IP address 192.168.0.101/24, right? So this one has 192.168.0.100. This one has no IP address. This one doesn't have IP address. This one doesn't have IP address. This one doesn't have IP address. So this is what we'll be doing, right? These two, we get IP addresses automatically. This one will manually configure the IP addresses, right? So on these two. Then this one will convert this one to which service should we use? Right, so we'll set up DNS and network time protocol. So okay, let's do DNS. So let's just do DNS and then okay, TFTP, the Trivial File Transfer Protocol. So we'll do one of those two, set up those two. So now, so the first thing I would want everyone to do is to click on this computer that is connected to the switch. Then come to desktop. If you click on it, it might take you here. right? So it might bring you to this physical. Then you click on desktop IP configuration. So someone will do this while we all sit. So when the person is doing it, then we can all do it together. So we are going to be configuring. Okay, before I do that, right? So before I do that, this this is 192.168.0.100, right? If I ask this question, we've not done IP addressing, so no need asking the question. So we're just going to configure. So DHCP will do the same for us. So no need configuring IP address. But just what you do is to click on DHCP. So let me close it again. Click on this computer, come to desktop, IP configuration, click on DHCP. Right? So click on DHCP. Automatically it gives, you see, there's no DNS server. Right? So this server will be the one to provide the DNS, or yes, it will provide just DNS for us. So now there's 192.168.0.103 with a subnet mask and with the gateway. So the gateway is this router. So if I hover my mouse on this router, you will see that the gateway is 192, or the IP address is 192.168.0.1. So now when you click on this computer, okay, let me finish up. Let me do this one. This one is GCP as well. So requesting for IP address. When we started, we talked about when we're talking about network protocols, we talked about DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol, the protocol that's responsible for the automatical that assigns automatically assigns IP addresses to devices. So it's a protocol that does that. So now 192.168.0.104. So this is 103, right? Okay, this is 104. Then this one is this should be 105, follows accordingly, right? So this is 105. Then, oh, what did I do? So I don't want this one to be man. I want us to configure this one manually. So I'm going to do 192.168.0.105. So let's give this one 105. Right, so then the subnet mask. So you're going to give the gateway 192.168.0.1. So that's what you would do, 192.168.0.1. So then this one, we're going to do 192.168.0.106. So if I give this one 0.5, you to tell me that it will not allow me. There will be conflict. So this IP address is already in use in the network, so we cannot use it again. So that means I will give it 106 or anything other than any other IP address that has not been used. So if you notice, the first, second, and third octet doesn't change. So we're going to come to that tomorrow. So 0.106. Let me give this one 0.106. Then the gateway will be what? 0.1. So they all have the same, they should all have the same gateway, but different IP addresses. They will have the same subnet mask, the same gateway, but they will have different IP addresses. So to confirm that, just say, take your cursor here, 192.168.0.1, 0.101. This is 0.10100. This is 104, 103, like that, 105, 106. So this server, for now, let's just leave it. So this is what I want us to do. Then the next thing I would want us to do is this, to access this router. We're going to access this router. Take note, from this computer, not from this one, not from this wireless devices or this wireless router. So see this router here. This wireless router this is the port. So let me show you this WRT. Let me call up another one so we'll see the model. WRT 300 0N. So this is the router here. Wireless router WRT 300N or something. So let's just see. Let's just see the router. So might not be that exact one. Okay, so this is similar to that. So this is the router, right? So that provides wireless connectivity. So it's the same thing, no difference with this. So now, so I'll come back here. I have I have just a minute. So I'm going to stop here. So someone will share screen and then or should I just do it and we'll go and maybe watch and do this. I want to ensure. So I want suggestion. Like, so should I just quickly? 'Cause I want to configure this device, then also configure this one. We've already configured IP addresses here, or I should use somebody's laptop to do that. Then while we are all doing it together, which will at time will extend a little, but we'll do it to an extent. Then the other part, I will use it as a task. So what should we do? So just two suggestions, Mr. Toby. I think you
Yes,
give
sir.
us your screen before
Sir, you can just do it, sir.
I should do it, right?
Yes, sir.
So it means that you're going to do everything I've done before we meet tomorrow. So just take
Yes,
note
sir.
of that. So yeah, I will access this router, this wireless router via one of this using this either the first might be this computer or this one, anyone, right? So but I just want to use this one. So come to web, see under desktop web configuration. So now how do I know the IP address of this router? I want to have access to it. So it's the gateway. We've already seen the gateway. The gateway doesn't change. All of these devices, they all have the same gateway, right? The same gateway. So the gateway is this. So the gateway is 192.168.0.1. So if I hover my mouse here, you still see the same gateway, 192.168.0.1. So that's what I would type. So to have access to this router, or if I want to have access even to my own device at home, like most of us, we do access our routers that we are connected to, right? So if you want to have access to your router that you're connected to, your router is your gateway. So it means that you're going to type the IP address of that your router. So how do you find the IP address? So just come to your command prompt, type ipconfig to show your IP address, the subnet mask, then your gateway. So to access your device or the device your laptop is connected to, so it means that you type this IP address on your web browser, then it will ask you for credentials. So in an organization, doesn't mean that, oh, because you saw the gateway, you know you can access it. So it means that if they do not disable or they don't define who would access the users that would access the router, it means that anybody can access, not maybe access, anybody can see the area where they prompt to provide username and password. But in some cases, they will even restrict HTTP, right, to access it, because this is HTTP. Where you see URL means that ports either 80 or port 443 is opened. So now 0.1, so hit enter. So that's what you will do. So you will type 192.168.0.1. You can see here that it's showing HTTP. Now automatically it resolves. It just changes to HTTP because that's an exact URL, right? So that's a defined URL. So it's not just a search. So username is admin, then the password is also admin. So username and password, admin, admin. So we are in this router. So what do I want to do on this router? So the first thing I want to do on this router is to ensure that these computers that are connected to this router wirelessly, automatically they just got connected, which we don't want. We don't want them to gain access to our network, right? It doesn't make sense. So we are doing security. So that's the first thing we want to do. So if it's security, if as we are not doing security, or security is not what we are doing, right? So of course it's just computer networking. Most likely, I will start with other configuration. But first thing is to ensure that, because this network is opened, the more computers that have wireless adapter are up here, they will all connect. They'll be sniffing and checking through what's going on in our network. So we don't want that. So the first thing we want to do is to disable or enable security. So now you come to wireless. After setup, you come to wireless, right? So wireless security. So okay, let me first of all give it a name. So let's give it a name. So the service set identifier. So it's not showing the complete name here. It's showing network name, then in brackets S. So the other letters that are here, it is SSID, which is service set identifier. So we're going to give this I'm going to give this elite tests, right? So you give it your own name, but any name you're giving it and any password, just take note of the password. So not tomorrow you want to access it. We will not, so take note of the password. So, but don't give it my own name. So I just give it elite test, or let me give it elite nets 1. So I can add 1. So in case I have multiple, but it's good to arrange your network. So you don't know what the other devices you'll be bringing on the network, or you can put down floor. Depends. So if you're assuming this is ground floor, or I'll put GN or GD. Let's abbreviate it. Since I'm the one that is setting it up, I know what to put. I can add 1 because most likely another one will come. That one will be 2. Or we'll use floors to differentiate it. So I'll just give Elite Net 1. So I'll save this. So when I save this, continue. So these two guys, these two computers, imagine, see what they did now, right? So they went to go and look for another wireless router that is open, free network. That's what they're looking for. So if you go to the airports, you will see free network, but don't connect to people like not like, okay, if you say people like me, right? So I have good motives. But people like me, when I'm in some moods, there's some moods I will be. I say no. I want to see flaws in the network, especially in those kind of public networks or free networks. So I begin to run commands, just to see people that are connected, what they are doing, what is going on. I just want to see, but no harm, no nothing whatsoever. Right. So I'll so just to take precautions. But when the bad guys are here, they see free networks, so they just connect. The good guys too will see, they will connect. Right. So the good ones are enjoying internet, while the bad ones are not really enjoying the internet. The ones that are not just bad, I mean the black hats. Right. So there are some bad ones, so they want to download, use their data. That's not what the bad ones. So the bad ones are looking for how areas, platforms people are accessing, what they are doing. The network, is it secured? They have to test it. So we don't want this guy here, so I have to disable it, disconnect it. So now this guy will be connected. Oh, she's looking for another one. So it's like that. It will continue until. So now what I will do here. So I'm going to continue. So I have to connect this one now to this one. So wireless, then security. Okay, under wireless, there is wireless security. So I have to enable security. So we are using WPA2. Take note. We are not using anyone other than WPA2. So when we get to wireless security, so we'll talk about all of this. So now, passphrase is Elite. All caps for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Elite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my own password. Then I'll save it. Save and continue. So these devices will come back to the network. So let me see. So see if they can come back. Once you've saved your password, then just click on this computer, come to desktop, then PC wireless, then come to connect. So I think the time is past spent. So we're going to use Elite Net 1. You can see it's seeing Elite. This computer is seeing Elite Net 1. So let's connect to Elite Net 1. Connect. Connect. So connect now. So most likely I have to let me disable that one. So not to spend much time. So let it not be connected to anything. So I'll come back here again. PC wireless. Let's look for networks. Okay, this one now. So connect. So it's requesting for password. So I give it Elite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then connect. So it's connected. So the next one here is desktop, PC wireless, connect. So this one is connected already. So this next one. So that means they will all have to check like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are all connected. So that's the first thing we'll do. Then the next thing I would want us to do is this. So this is going to be a little, this will be a little techie, but I want us to do not like take out. This will be a little not tasky, not challenging. We are in for this, so we'll do it. So that's the last one I want to do. So we're going to call up, we're also going to call up another computer here. So we're going to call up another computer here. So which computer are we calling? So let's use a desktop computer. So let's use a desktop computer. An ordinary desktop computer that doesn't have wireless card. Take note. This one, the one I clicked here is this one. End devices. So in case you are watching the video, end devices, then click on this PC. Right, so click on PC, then connect, use this same network cable. Right, so but which cable are we using? We are using a console cable. We are using a console cable. So connect to the ROS232 ports, the COM ports of this computer. So the COM ports of this computer. So the console ports of this router. So this is the console port of the router. So this is the console port. So this is the management port. Right. So to configure this router, we need to be connected to at first. Right. So because it has not been configured, you can see it's showing red. We have to connect it to the management port to gain access to the command line interface, right? So the command line environment of this router. So now here we'll come here, desktop, right? So, okay, I just have to be a bit fast again. Apologies, right? So, but before I configure that, so let me show you this console cable. Let me show you console cable. So it's the same cable. You can see here the same cable here. So this is the cable they're talking about. So the most recent one now, you see that I've seen some cables that are Type C, some that are USB, right? So this one, this end here goes to the router, right? So the one that has network ROG45. So we didn't talk about network cable, right? So someone will remind me. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Someone should remind me because I might not even remember because it's not in. I just want us to go straight to IP addressing and advanced configuration. So please, someone should remind me just to look briefly on network. It's nothing much. So let me look for a cable console. This is a cable to which one should I? Okay, let me use this one. Right. So this end here goes to the router, the console port of the router. Why this one goes to the computer? So, but this desktop computer has a COM port, a console port, not a console port, a COM port, right? A communication COM port. For our
COM
laptops,
ports.
most of our laptops doesn't have the COM ports. Most of our laptop has USB ports. It's mostly desktop computers that has this COM ports. So this is not a VGA. This is not VGA ports or connector that goes to monitor. No. So our laptop that uses COM USB can use this one. Any laptop that uses USB, while this one goes to the router, this one will go to the COM ports. Sorry, the USB port of your laptop. If it is Type C port, to go to Type C. But this port will go to the router, so it is different from the other cables that we've used. So now, in the case whereby is this one that we have, this cable, means that we are going to get this serial USB to serial converter. Why this one goes to the router? If your laptop doesn't have this port, then you cannot get this serial USB to serial converter that you connect here. It's popular, but it's common yet. So that will connect to this one. Then this other end will not go to your USB ports. Instead of this USB port of a laptop. So instead of going to get this, why not just we use a console cable that would have provision for COM ports. A USB port, right? So that's for that. So now I have to come here. So this is so I'll go straight to the configuration. So now it brought me to this place. Continue with configuration dialog, yes or no. So I will say no, right? So I will say no instead of saying yes. So if I say yes, if I said yes, so I will get a step-by-step guide on what to do. So the router will guide me on what to do next, right? So we are taking this step, the most important, or the ones we want to achieve today, right? So if I'm the network administrator of this network, so I don't want to say yes, but I don't want the router to tell me to configure host name when my boss or my my team lead has not informed me. I've not gotten any name yet that will be configured, so I can decide to skip that one. If the password is not has not been given, I can skip that one. Or so so I would say no. So you say continue with dialog configuration with configuration dialog, yes or no? I'll say no. Or end, just say no, right? So no. So you hit enter 2 times, right? So hit enter 2 times. It will just take you to router enable greater than sign, right? So you take it to router enable. So what do you want to do on this mode, right? So we want to configure. Why are we on this router? We want to configure this router, right? You see, at the end of it, we might even change this IP. Okay, we can leave it. Change this one from 0.1, make this one 0.1, or give this one 254. So we'll come to that. We'll come to that aspect. So what we want to do here is sorry, let me explain something here. So now this mode here is called user mode. Whenever I see greater than sign, it's called user. I'm going to type the commands to the chat. So I'll go platform. So it's called with the router greater than sign, it's called user mode. So which is a less secured mode. I'm not hit enter. So let me do it here. So whenever so you see it better. So in case where is my greater than sign? So it is called user mode, right? So we don't do any configuration on this mode. So on that mode, we can only type enable, right? We can only type enable on that mode. So that's what we'll do. So just type enable, then hit enter, right? So when you hit enter, it takes you to what the privilege mode. So the privilege mode is where is my hash? Okay, so this is the privilege mode. So let me indicate user mode here. User mode. So on the privilege mode, we necessarily might not do configurations on this mode, but from this mode, we can telnet into devices. From this mode, we can run ping to other devices in our network, right? So from this mode, we can it's just a mode majorly we use for troubleshooting. So most times we want to troubleshoot the network, will be on this mode. There are a couple of things we can do. We can restart or reload the router on this mode, which is still fine. Right. So but there, all of those advanced configurations we cannot do on this mode. And on this mode, we can the command we will type. Okay, let me type it here. That will take us to the next mode. It is called configure. Please press my tab key. It should help me to complete it. To configure terminal. My tab key would help me to complete it. Then hit enter. So configure space terminal. So that's what we will do, right? So configure terminal. So on this mode, this is where we'll do the major configuration. So this is where we'll do the major configuration. So this will take us to, I can say config T, CONF, it will accept abbreviation, right? So router config, you can see with the brackets there, right? Then hash. So on this mode, this is user mode, this is privilege mode, then this is global mode. So global mode. So this is the mode with all the configurations. So I'll just go straight to doing the configurations, right? So it's just the explanation that is taking time. So this thing will not take, if you are doing it, right, it will not even take you more than two minutes, you're done. Everything I've been talking about, just because of the explanation, believe me. So it's very, very easy. So I will share the commands and share the summary to the group. So on this mode now, the first thing I want to do is to change the name of this router. Right, so I want to change, the first thing I want to do is to change the name of the router, host name, right? So host name is one word, right? So host name. So what name do I want to give the router? So you are defining, you started establishing your network. So construct a good name for it. You can give it a location, maybe UK, Sweden router or Sweden network. So give it something unique and not something you want to change later. So because in case you want to submit, because right now we are not submitting this, we are building upon this. So it's tomorrow on that would submit, right? So the task for tomorrow I will submit. But this one, whatever you do here today is what will continue. Where you stop is where we'll continue. So now host name. So I'm going to give this one um Birmingham, or okay, let me give it Liverpool network, right? So Liverpool network, or Liverpool, let me give it Liverpool router. So just give it a unique name. So Liverpool router. So now that's it. You could see now the name has changed. So it has changed to Liverpool router. Take note. So it has changed to Liverpool router. So it's still on that global mode, right? It's still on the global mode. So now the next thing I want us to do is to configure a banner MOTD. So you can either use banner message of the day. So let me do that. Banner. So in case for those that will not see it clearly. So router config, just what I did. Configure terminal. Man, I've spent time. Apologies, I have to quickly wrap up. So I'll tend to question. So but I want us to take note of this. So this is where I typed host name, right? Host name. Just type in this. So see, so I give mine Liverpool router. So it's one word. If you give a space, take note. The mistake most people would do, you will sit here forever. You will not leave until if you do this. If you say Liverpool space router, it will not work. You must use hyphen, right? Or use underscore, or use anything. There must not be a space. So it is a host name. It is unique. So just say Liverpool hyphen router. So that's for that. So now the next thing I want to do. So if I say Liverpool router as the host name, so it means that this guy will not be router again. So that's what happened on that. So this now changed to what? So this now changed to what? Liverpool
Liverpool
router.
router.
So that's how it is. So what we'll do next is to go. So the other ones I will not type them here because of time. So banner. Oh, I need to type banner. It's very important. So banner MOTD. So right, which is message of the day. Right. So want to use that to want to set up a banner on this network. So any user that wants to have access to this network, so they should see that message like on the banner on the network. Not like you want to have access to a building or a compound, but at the gates you should see something that will either welcome you or that will frighten you. So that's just what this banner will do. Yeah, so it can be something that will direct you to another network, or so just a banner MOTD. Then I can say MOTD is one word, message of the day. Then I can type at or character at, or I say character and, or character star, asterisk, or character dollar, or pounds. So anything that is character. So after the MOTD space, then if I say dollar, so let me use at. I'm used to at. So at message of the day, then hit enter. So if you do not say if you do not add at here, it will not come here. It will not come to this. So you must to you have to do after the MOT, you give a space, then at. So what you will do next is to say um, give it a banner. This network belongs to Liverpool. Anything. Let me just put Keystone branch. It's just me. So yours make it define it properly. So no trespassers are not allowed. Trespassers are not allowed. So not necessarily you do what I have here. Are not allowed. So I'm not allowed it. So let me leave it this way. So then I will now end with the character at. Right. So I will end with the character at. So if I do not end with the character at, there's no way this would stop. So it will continue. Right. So I have to end with the character at. So this at here, like the character that I initiated here, I typed here, is the same character I will end here. So if you decide to use dollar, like I suggested, or hash, means that you will use hash here. So because if you not do that, this line will continue. So this tells us that, oh, that's the end of the line or the message or the command. So that's enter now. So the next we want to do is to quickly have just two more configuration. Yeah, so enable secrets, enable space secrets, Enable space secret. So for security. So I just don't want to stop here because it's a security course. If I say, oh, because of time, I will stop here. We need to secure this router because tomorrow we'll come back and log into this router, right? So we don't want tomorrow I'm out of the office now. I'm out of the yeah. Somebody will just come and connect cable to our router and start configuring the router. We don't want that. So we have to be security conscious from day one. We should be even though we're dealing on networking, right? So now enable space secret. Then a secret password, an encrypted password. So we'll give this one so I'll still use Elite 12345. So Elite 12345. So whatever password you're giving your router, please take note of it. Right. So take note of it. You don't have to and don't give it your private passwords. Give it passwords that random common passwords that you don't use in any of your accounts because you're going to share the task much later. You're going to place share your screen. We're going to be troubleshooting, So just do that. Right. So that's what you will do. Now that's the password. So everybody that wants to gain access to configure to the global mode or to the privilege mode, they have to provide this password. Now the next password is anybody that wants to have access to this router. Okay, let's use this one. Anybody that wants to connect to this router port via this console cable was connected to this console port, right? So anybody that wants to connect to this router via the console port, the person should provide this password. Unlike this guy that just connected without a password, right? So we don't want that again. Even me, someone can use my laptop or impersonate me. They have to provide passwords. So now the command is line space console. So let me use my tab key. I'll raise it. It helps me to complete it. Just tap on your keyboard in case you're making a mistake. And you can say shift question mark. You can see here. Shift question mark will tell you what to configure next if you are stuck. If you don't know the next command, or you hold shift on your keyboard and press question mark to tell you what next to do. So 0, just because we have just one physical console port. So that's why 0. Assuming we have 2 console ports, we'll say 0 space 1 because we have just one console port, right? So physically present on that router, just say console 0, then hit enter. So the next thing to do is to configure password. Right, so set up password on this port. So now we are in that port. If you see here now, it's telling us, we are in that mode, in a config line mode. We're in a different mode now. Here it's telling us config line. Other ones were showing, or they were showing config, right? But this one is showing config line. So password what? So what my password, this is my own password, right? So 1234, right? So Elite 1234. So that's the password. So then I'll type login. So anybody that gets the password correctly should log in. So that's it. So if you are sure of the password, then log in. You are not to type login, you're only just going to provide the password. So with typing login or adding login to this command, it means that every valid user should provide to type login. So then one more command again. One configuration. So line VTY, like so line VTY 0 space 4. So any user here that wants to have, because part of what we'll be testing too tomorrow. Anybody that wants to gain access to this router from the LAN zone. So that's what we are setting. So we don't want them to be connected. We don't want them to be physically present or directly connected to the router. So we want them to be able to access this router remotely. So we are going to say line VTY space 0 space 4. Right. So if I say 0 shift question mark, so okay, let me just say shift question mark. Okay, I think I'm making a mistake. So exit line VTY 0 space 4. Right, so 0 space 4. So I would have just gone straight up to type that line VTY 0 space 4. So which tells us that no more than 5 persons or users can connect to the router at the same time. So that's 0 space 4, 4, 1 for 4, then 0 for 1. Right, so now the next thing is password. Elite 123, then enter. So we have to type login. So when you are done, exit or just type end. Right. So type end straight up and save. Say write. WRITE or copy on start. Right. So I think I can copy, hit enter 2 times. I think that's all. I can copy all of these things and share to the group, right? So all of these commands. So I can share it to the group. So I think that will be fine. So but you're not gonna send my password back to me. That's where we'll know that it's copy and paste. Not even gonna send my banner, not send my host name back to me. I will know that that's copy and paste. So I think that's just where I will wrap it up. So why do I have to do this? To save my configuration, right? So to save my configuration, I need to save the configuration of this router. So in case mistakenly this router restarts, right? So we don't want to lose our configuration. So or somebody the power goes off, right? We don't want to lose our configuration. So after you've saved your configuration on the router, which we just did now, so you can now come to your packet tracer, come to file, say save, right? So you're going to now go to save and save your work. Please, when you're saving it, your first name, right? Your first name, your use your first name, just your name. If you want to add your surname, fine. So your first name and then add WAN to it. WAN or LAN or anyone. One WAN or LAN. So then when you do that, so when you save it, ensure that it is saved and you know where it is saved, right? So in case, so when you are asked to share screen, you know where you go and find it, or you can even come from here and say file and it will open. So I think I did more than 65% today, right? So I said I will do 65% of the talk, then I want us to demonstrate from my own end, right? So that's just how it's going to be for day one. So day two, I'll still do some 50-60% talk, right? So demonstration on some things. Then as we move on, I'll just be looking at either Mr. Newton's screen while he's doing his stuffs, or be looking at, because most of those things I already have them set up, so I cannot be doing them again. So this is just because we're on the packet tracer level and we're trying to establish our network. So I think that's all from my own end. So I will attend to questions. So regarding what we did today, right? So, and I'll try to share the recording tonight. If I can't do it tonight, I'll make sure I do it as early as possible, right? But I can only share the link to download. But the one I prefer to send the video instead of just sending the link, right? So because of I think it's better that way. I'll just share the video and the summary and the command. So any question, Mr. K, can you hear me? Any question?
No question, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Adetola, any question?
No question. I can hear you, sir.
All right, so Mrs. Betty, can you hear me? Any question from your end, or something you want to add, or you want us to look at for tomorrow, or maybe you want us to improve on, please let me know. Any
Yeah,
question?
we're a bit very fast and kind of like rush it and
Okay.
from configuration side. It was very fast. It will be difficult.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, let's be on maybe kind of a little bit
Slow, right?
yeah, please.
Yeah, so I was just trying to, trying to, um, I don't want to like miss out. So I was looking at the time. All right, no problem. Well, so Mr. Frederick, I don't know if you've been with us. So any question, Mr. Frederick? So this is where I will know that people that followed us to the end. Mr. Frederick if he doesn't respond in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, in 4 seconds, I know he's not with us. Right. So Mr. Newton, are you with us? So any question?
None for now.
All right, so thank you all for joining. Mr. Adewale, Steven, you've been off and on. So can you unmute your mic and tell us? I know you will have some questions. So Mr. Steven Adewale, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right, so any question? I know your question will be long.
No, none so far, sir. But I'm going to be your DM right after this class.
All right, that's a pop. So I'll be up to like 11, 11:15, right? So I'll be up to like 11:15. So you can, you or anyone, you
All
can switch out to me. So, but what I will try to do, right, so is just to try and get the recording and the summary, to the group. So that's what I'll try to do. So just in case, suppose people that
right.
are working like me most times at night, sleep in the day, wake up at night, you work when internet is fast. Most times you catch me by that time. So that's all
Yeah,
for now.
exactly. I
So that's
understand.
all for now. So tomorrow we continue again same time 7. So before tomorrow, I want us to do that configuration. But ensure you save your so take note. So this is where most people make the mistake. So ensure you save your configuration and ensure you save your work. So tomorrow you might just open or you open a blank work or you save something else. Just ensure you save it. Right. So do all the necessary save. So take notes. You're already setting up one. We're not doing two like me. We're just taking up setting up. So if you want to do another one, right? So it means that you are going to open another work and create to master it. So not doing the boots on one work area. So I think that will be all for now. So thank you all, and I think that's all from my own end. So yeah, good night, and have anything you let me know or send to the group. Yeah, good night everyone. Cheers. Bye.
All right, sir.